update Twitter. So yeah, let's talk first about the deck. Let me just clean some stuff up. Sage. Okay, let's talk about the deck. Basically, before I start, the list on your right is going to be incorrect. Pendelhaven on the visual deck list tool doesn't quite work. It seems to bug. So I had this issue with elves, which I didn't realize at the time why. And I just figured out that Pendelhaven like glitches the system. That's okay. At least you know. Now, what is Infect about? Infect is about this incredibly fun mechanic where your damage is dealt to creatures in form of -1/-1 counters, and the player is in form of poison counters. Obviously, we're interested in the latter. Basically, oh hey. So we're interested in dealing 10 poison counters to our opponent since they would lose the game as a result. The way this deck works is it basically transforms pump spells that, like, normally something like Might of Old Kroza would not be a constructed playable card. Like +4/+4 at essentially main phase at source, so to speak, sorcery speed, is not going to really win you many matches of constructed. However, when you look at Infect, this basically becomes a 2/1 creature, and Might of the Old Kroza becomes like a +8/+8 effect. That's like one of the ways you can think about it. Is like these spells like deal double damage. So when you realize you only need like 1 hit plus 2 of these spells, like 2 hits plus 2 of these spells, like you realize how powerful this deck can be. It also makes Noble Hierarch, which looks really out of place otherwise, make more sense, since the Exalted trigger essentially like adding a poison counter is like if it got like +2/+1. So yeah, that's what we're looking to do. Now, obviously we don't have just Glistener Elf, which is a 1/1 Infect. We also have 2 other Infect creatures in Blighted Agent, which is unblockable, and Inkmoth Nexus. Both of these like have a form of evasion. Agent like has the best form of evasion where it can't be blocked, and Inkmoth has flying. So you can essentially like try to go through blockers that way. You also have Distortion Strike. This is a 1-drop. That's another way to go through blockers, is just play a quicker creature. And then you have Distortion Strike as a one-off copy to kind of sneak through damage. Now, your creatures are super fragile. I mean, they're 1/1s. So, in order to make them good enough, we're playing some cards that help pump their toughness. Like, Pendelhaven's really good in this deck. Since pretty much every active creature, apart from Noble Hierarch, is a 1/1. So, this allows you to... Turning them into 2/3s is really powerful, especially with a land activation. And you have a lot of defense. So you have Vines of Vastwood and Blossoming Defense, as well like Spell Pierce to round out numbers. And essentially, these give you the option to like giving your creature. So Blossoming Defense gives hexproof straight up. Vines is a little more complicated, and I'm going to explain why in a bit. But essentially, both of these defend your creature so that like you can like play your first pump spell. Like, you can defend your creature and then respond, and like once it has hexproof, win. Or you can defend it versus removal. If they have a Liliana of the Veil, we have access to a Dryad Arbor. There's also games, so like they make you sack a creature and you just fetch this. There are also games because their life total doesn't matter, so to speak, right? Because you're trying to deal infect damage rather than like regular. So they may like deal themselves enough damage that a Noble Hierarch or a Dryad Arbor combined with enough of these spells might be just enough to get there. So yeah. And then your pumps, so like these are like this line, the Vines Blossoming Defense is like your interaction line, and then the 16 line is like just your kill. Like these are just like part of your combo. So these all give at least +4/+4 for 1 or +2/+2 for 0. Become Immense is probably the biggest one. Giving +6/6, but does cost them more. This deck used to run 4, because before you could run Jataxin Probe, but that's kind of gone. You know, because it's been banned from Modern, so yeah. It also means it's harder to put cards in your graveyard. I could like totally see a version of this deck, by the way, that runs like a little more of the blue cantrips, like Thought's Cower and Serum Visions, to feed off the Become Immenses. But because this is your only Delve spell and you don't have really much else to do with the graveyard, that's probably not the right approach. Become Immense is much better when you like just naturally get cards in your graveyard and use it later. So, by the way, I mentioned one of the things of Vines is that it's not quite hexproof. The thing is, you can target your opponent's creature, essentially to stop their creature from being targeted by your opponent. This can be relevant sometimes. So, for example, if your opponent's going to kill you with a Cranial Plating, like for Xaxes with damage, or they have a Ravager, like against Affinity, you can, once like they sack the Ravager or try to equip the Plating, you could use Vines of Vastwood on the card they're targeting, so that it can't be the target of spells or abilities that turn, and it can't like be equipped or get Ravager's counters. So that's like a good example of like how you can use it to stop your opponent from doing what they do. It's a pretty versatile card in that sense. Yeah. That explains kind of the main deck, the sideboard. A little more protection in the spell, but not too much. At the end of the day, you already have there, like, you already have enough protection. Distortion Strike, the second way to go through blockers. Some Nature's Claim, since this is basically like naturalizing the deck for almost no drawback, since the gain 4 life when you're trying to infect them is not a problem. Cage to prevent the court calling decks and some other nonsense. Relics are just good as cantrips, and Graveyard Disruption. If you've been watching the series, Relic has just been, Cage and Relic have been ubiquitous in a bunch of decks. The second Dismember, the second Spellskite, different reasons to run them, but essentially running off duplicate copies. Dissenter's Deliverance as a... The cycling on it being one of the reasons you play it over, like, say, any other Artifact Hate. So, like, it's good if they, like... Very few decks run Spellskite, but if they had Spellskite, you would have Dissenter's Deliverance for that problem. And then some Viridian Corruptors, which are good as additional Infect creatures that double up, like, with killing an artifact. And this deck plays free Kitchen Finks as a way to stop ground offense. Like, if you were against a Death Shadow deck and needed more time to set up, you could play Kitchen Finks to buy you time. Worth noting that one of my friends, Javier Dominguez, played a version of Infect at the World Magic Cup with 4 Tarmogoyfs, which performed better than expected, because unlike Kitchen Finks buys you time, but Tarmogoyf can actually kill them in some scenarios. And yeah, but that was before Fatal Push was printed, so I don't think that's good anymore, because now people can Fatal Push your creatures, and Tarmogoyf doesn't go for that plan. Kitchen Finks does though. So yeah, so we're gonna take the deck for a spin. Most people have forgotten about Infect. I think the rise of Push has really hurt the deck a lot, since before, like, when Bolt was the burn spell of choice, like, you know, you just played more pump spells in response to the burn spell, it was fine. But now that it's Fatal Push, like, you need a defense or a Vines. No other card is going to save you there, so yeah. So let's give this a shot, try and match. Play first, let's see what we get. So this hand has blue mana with Noble Hierarch, and we have Pendelhaven Agent. We have 2 Infect creatures in Agent and Nexus. We have Noble Hierarch to help us with early game, so we're going to keep this hand. It doesn't have many ways to fill the graveyard for this Become Immense, so it might be a slower hand with Agent and Pendelhaven. But we have Vines for protection, so we can play Hierarch off Haven, and then Nexus, tap the Hierarch and the Nexus for an Agent, and keep Pendelhaven Vines of Vastwood up, which is okay. And we can also run out of Spellskite first if they're like on some kind of Bolt deck. If they're on like a Bolt deck, then Spellskite first might be better. So we're gonna keep. Also, like, there's very few decks where Spellskite would be better, but we can run it out. Basically, any Bolt deck Spellskite might be better, because like a discard deck, you want to run out Agent anyways, since they have more discard than they have spot removal. Like, the spot removal, like, is always going to get you, so to speak. So a discard is going to be able to get you a lot less, because we're going to fill our graveyard with this. Also, if this Noble Hire gets killed, like, it's possible, of course. Like, we'll know if they have spot removal right away because this gets killed like instantly when they have spot removal. They're not gonna like Thoughtseize or Inquisition me if they have any way to kill this Hierarch. Water Grave. So if they have Fatal Push, they're gonna Fatal Push this now. Thoughtseize? Okay. I don't think they have Fatal Push. They wouldn't run out Thoughtseize here otherwise. But yeah, and you're gonna see the power of Inkmoth Nexus this game. Essentially because it can't get Thoughtseized. Because they're on Fatal Push, I don't really care about... Like, the Glistener Elf is really good because we can go Spellskite Glistener Elf. But yeah, I don't really care about the Pendelhaven being up for Glistener Elf, since it's very unlikely. Like, they could play Collective Brutality main, but I haven't seen this is Death Shadow, so I'm pretty sure. And I haven't seen many versions that play Collective Brutality main. So I think we're safe to go Spellskite Glistener Elf. If they have Brutality, we can just redirect anyways, so whatever. Yeah. This is the best, though. They Thoughtseize, get the card that they're worried about, and then you just, like, re-go. Yeah. So they take away Vines. This is okay. The Become Immense is, like, enough on its own. Oh, wow. They're down to... They don't have a second land. Okay. Well, this turn is going to be really good for... Okay, let's see. We're not that far off lethal, right? This is 2, 3, 9. We can put our opponent to 1, which is pretty good when you have Inkmoth. Yeah, okay. I think we can do that, right? Like, if I fetch a Breeding Pool, so that leaves me with Become Immense costing free. So I can Pendelhaven as well. Yeah, we might as well fire this off while my opponent's tapped out. Let's see. Yeah, we can pay this for free, so I'm gonna Pendelhaven this. Then we're gonna Become Immense this creature. Like, we might as well fire it off, like, now that our opponent can't, like, Thoughtseize. And it's so, like, putting our opponent to 9 poison might as well be lethal. Because we have access to Inkmoth Nexus, Glistener Elf, and Inkmoth Nexus. Like, we have access to, like, multiple sources of Infect. So, and a Spellskite. So, I can't see, like, yeah, our opponent, like, interacting with all this at once. Yeah, just went here. And that's, like, the power of Become Immense. It's, like, the only pump spell that really gets there in one shot. That was, like, a really quick game, by the way. Okay, so we're against Death Shadow. They're gonna, like... Kitchen Finks is a good way to fight Lily while fighting shadows and stuff. So I kind of like it. Spellskite is okay. They saw game 1, which makes it worse, but yeah. Relic is good. Cage, like, stops Snap. But it doesn't stop much else. So I'm not the biggest fan of Cage in this matchup. Dispel... I don't like Dispel against this card decks, because they're gonna keep in Inquisitions and stuff, so this is really bad. I don't... Dismember, like, sometimes gets there. I guess Dismember's okay. Like, it kills their creatures, so yeah. I don't like Spell Pierce against Shadow, especially on the draw when they can, like, make you discard and you can't do anything. I'd rather, like, yeah, Vines and Defense are fine because they take the card. Let's see here. The cards I like the least. There's actually, yeah, this is where the like of experience hurts, is like what do you sideboard out, because it's pretty easy to see what you would board in, but out is harder. Games are longer, so Become Immense is good. Even Kitchen Finks plus Become Immense is like lethal in some scenarios, because they have to like get Death Shadows out. I like the Dismembers. Okay, maybe the Spellskites aren't so good post board. Like, they do stop a removal spell, but they play Fail Push. I guess they're okay. It's just like, yeah. Sorry, we don't want the Distortion Strike. I think we're better off, like, we don't, like, the Inkmoth Nexus is good enough, so we don't need these Distortion Strikes. Spellskite is kind of hard, because, like, it doesn't really put that much pressure, and they can just Fatal Push it. So I'm not the biggest fan of it. They do have spot removal. And they're gonna board into more. Spellskite is at its best when like they have Lightning Bolt though. I like taking out Growths, since they're more likely to have like these are the least damage per spell, and they have discard, then they're likely to let's take out the Growths. Because like this is the least damage per spell. It's very unlikely we get our nut draw because of Inquisition and Thoughtseize. And yeah, that's what I want to do. Like, because like they can see our hand. We're gonna have enough cards in our graveyard for Become Immense, and we don't want to like spend too much life between the Spellskite and Dismember. So we're gonna go with this. Yeah, Growth is like the least damage per card, so I think that was the one that I was supposed to take out here. Okay, so this hand is okay. The main problem is it's very easy to Thoughtseize and take this Noble Hierarch. And I don't like necessarily that this is a one-lander. But it has a lot of interaction. It also doesn't have an Infect creature. I might have to mulligan this. No Infect creature, one land. There's too many weak points. I don't like mulliganing against Thoughtseize decks, but yeah, this might have to be it. This is not a hand I can keep, I think. No. This is a really weak hand too. I think we're gonna go to 4. Yeah, keep this. I gotta need that second land. Yeah, mulligan to 4 is just dramatic. I wonder if I should have kept that original hand, but like Noble Hierarch with land is okay, but they're more likely to have a way to remove it, and they're on the play. If I was on the play, like I probably would have kept it. Because Noble Hierarch plus Pump Spell sometimes is more than enough. Here they're going to take the Glistener Elf, most likely. Yeah. Okay, let's play Verdant, and our plan is to get Breeding Pool. I'll skip this one. But yeah. That was actually a hard decision that I had to make with those mulligans. I wonder if I should have kept my hand at 7. But I don't think so. Like, they would have taken Noble Hierarch. Would have been a very similar spot. And the other 2 hands were just awful. I could have maybe, like, kept the 6 and, like, hoped for a dual land on top. Like, it was, like, Inkmoth Nexus and spells, so, like, a dual land would have been good. But it might have been, like, the best of a bad bunch. Okay, so our opponent plays Shadow. Seeing what our hand is, I'm gonna get a Breeding Pool because I just want to make sure I have both colors of mana, but I'm not gonna take damage. I'm gonna just dismember this. Yeah, we have Groundswell, sure. Let's just get rid of this now before it's too late. Yeah, Death Shadow should run Serum Visions over Opt. Opt is pretty weak in that deck. I guess game 1 showed like the best side of Infect, and game 2 showed the worst side of Infect. Yeah, we might as well get that second Breeding Pool out of the deck. I could like fetch a Dryad Arbor, that doesn't make much sense here. Okay, so the biggest argument for not fetching was like to land drop Groundswell, but we're gonna need like a lot of help, so I'm not like fussed about that. Okay, Death Shadow. Take damage here, of course. Dismember. Dismember is pretty nice. I'm gonna do it on my opponent's upkeep, given no other info. Since, like, if they have the Street Wraith, like, at least they'll make it a 2/2. They might go for a Snapcaster. If they do, I'm gonna just stop on my turn. Okay, so let's remove this stop. Yeah, we're gonna let them opt, and then we're gonna dismember this Shadow. This Snap is probably gonna be more than enough to kill us, though. We got lucky. We drew both dismembers. Like, I mean, after mulliganing to 4, we got lucky, I guess. But yeah. Yeah, so casts opt. I'm not the biggest fan of this. I would have like Snapcastered Thoughtseize, since it puts you to like 6 with Death Shadow, so Dismember doesn't work anymore. I know it's unlikely that I have it, but you also disrupt what I might have in hand. But then we drew Dismember. Yeah, I mean, I still would have done it. Like, I would rather make sure I have no cards. Like, it's really hard for me to win with no cards. Like, the Shadow is just... Like, it doesn't matter what I have. Like, what you have, because this Shadow is going to be so big. So, like, just having a 7/7 Shadow, especially when I've shown one Dismember, you don't have any at play. Let's see. There's 2 cards in my opponent's hand. I don't know how much I can afford to wait, because it's like... any discard spell or Snapcaster, like, gets this. It's very likely they have a removal spell in hand. But the removal spell might be, like, Kozilek's Return. If it's Kolaghan's Command, we kind of lose anyways, so I'm going to take the risk here. I think we're way too far behind for me to wait a turn. I think I could, like, afford to wait 1 turn. But the problem is my opponent plays discard, so it's kind of awkward. Like, if they top deck Inquisition or something and take Aegis, I'm, like, dead. Like, totally dead. Maybe I should play around, like, not around the cards they're going to top deck, though, but... Yeah, they have Fatal Push? Okay. No, Kolaghan's Command. We lose to... Oh, Static Caster. Okay. Well, at least we know that they have this. Okay. Well, this... It's fine. That's funny. Alright, so this card's really hard to beat, by the way. This is, like, one of the best cards against us. Okay, and there's Shadow. That's gonna just kill us. Static Caster is the reason you would run Twisted Image in the sideboard. But yeah, we're gonna concede here. We're obviously super far behind, so we're done. I could technically like survive by going Vines on Noble, but like what's the point? Right, so they have Visit Static Caster. None of these cards help against Visit Static Caster, it's worth noting. I think we had our... I think configuration was right with Spellskites. So yeah, we're gonna just run it again. And hope to draw a little better. Maybe Kitchen Vinks isn't that great. I don't know, like, it's maybe not the best card on the sideboard. It does buy you, like, a lot of time against decks like this sometimes, though. Yes. So, we have... Sadly, this is probably going to get taken, and the Dread Arbor in hand is awkward. Here, I'm going to go Pendelhaven Relic. Because obviously, like, exposing my turn 1 land drop turn removal sounds awful. Pendelhaven Relic. Like, they're going to make us discard turn 1, which is going to be awful, of course, but not much we can do. Thoughtseize us. I take this Blighted Agent, like, every day of the week. Right. Let's make them lose their Thoughtseize at least. Okay. Let's see here what we do. I'm gonna get a Breeding Pool. I think we can afford to lose some life. I wouldn't want to lose more though. Like, for free, because we have this again, we have Dismembers and Spellskites. Yeah. This protects any future Infect creature we draw at least. But yeah. Okay, so what is this? Dismember? They're paying... Okay, yeah. I like that they're paying Dismember, though. I don't like that they're playing Opt, but I think Dismember is super good in, like, these Shadow decks. It's possible I should have maybe waited a turn to... let's exile a card. But, like, it's possible I should have maybe waited a turn to have, like, Vines up. But the problem is Dryad Arbor is, like, summoning sick lands. It's not going to do the trick. My opponent has Shadow. This is just... This is a pretty nut draw if they have Shadow here. Do they have it? Oh, man. Yeah, because they went, like, double interaction piece and, like, turn 1 friend. This is why Shadow's, like, super oppressive. This matchup's not very good, by the way. Okay, so... Lose to Dismember. And then we're going to play Dryad Arbor and Glistener Elf. Right. So... K-Command, Spellskite, and Infect creature. That seems bad. That doesn't work because like you just wait. It might actually. Yeah, sorry, it does work. My bad. Spellskite's already the target of it, so you're not changing anything. What is this? Liliana? The last hope. Okay. Well, this is really hard to beat apart from Vines. Let's see what happens here. I wonder if anyone's gonna screw this one up. Because they're at 6. I would need landfall. But, okay, we're gonna, like, let this happen, I think. Which is awful, of course, but yeah. Like, it's up to, like, until your next turn, so there's no point in saving it. Unfortunately, my opponent's, like, staking with the shadow, so that's really bad. Yeah, okay. Well, I have to kind of exile stuff. This is super bad, though, if I have Become Immense. We're so short on cards, I have to. I should have done it in response to Liliana, to be fair, but yeah. Okay. Yeah, Electrolyte. Yeah, you're right. You can do that. Okay, let me think here. I'm gonna get through the shadow. If I can, even. Because, like, I boarded out the Distortion Strikes, because these spots don't happen that often. Since you have a lot of evasion creatures. So, like, the spot with Dried Arbor doesn't occur that frequently. It's a 7/7. 7 is, like, really awkward. Because we can make this, like, a 6/7 pretty easily, but like, a 10, a proper 10 is not good. And we don't have Distortion, so that makes this much worse. And my opponent's just gonna, like, Lily this, and it's gonna die. I could trade these two for Death Shadow. That's, like, what I'm looking at, but then the Lily can just minus get back Shadow, which is not good. And then we have, like, nothing. I could, like, pass a turn and, like, Vines my Dried Arbor. That's also not very strong. I might have to do that, though, which is awkward. I could have also not played the land to trick my opponent, but I'm thinking this is just not ending well. Yeah, there's no attack I can do. And, like, yeah. And here, like, boarding out the Distortion Strike is awkward, but it made sense, like for my normal game plan. I might as well cast this with Kicker. Only one Arbor, yeah. Like, Arbor is just not the card you want to draw in most situations, so... Fatal Push it? Okay, well, I can't do much about that, so you got it. Yeah. Yeah, this is kind of dagger. What is this? Red? Like, Teamer Battle Rage. Yeah, so... One thing you can do is counter Teamer Battle Rages by Vinesing their card, but... yeah. Our opponent played this okay. Like, this matchup's not good because they have discard and, like, cheap interaction. So, yeah, like, we could have Vines to do this, but, like, it doesn't matter. We wouldn't have been able to win. Yeah, dodging... Like, this is the deck you want to dodge Shadow with. Spellsky would have actually been useful if we had it a little earlier, but our opponent, like, disrupts us too hard, so it's really hard. We had the Spellsky here and it got killed, so yeah. Okay. Yeah, Shadow is, like, by far one of the worst matchups. Everything about their deck is bad for you. Like, this discard... It was, like, the reason Infect got pushed out of the format. One of the things you could do against them, I guess, is, like, if you're, like, worried about Shadow, you could board in Invisible Stalker. And that, like, means that they can't win, really. Because they can't take that much damage. And like... If you want to play Infect and but like you feel that like and there's too much Shadow, just play Invisible Stalker. That's probably like your best plan. Because like they have to deal damage to themselves and like they can't target Invisible Stalkers, so you can just do that. I think that's like probably the best way to beat them. Is like resolve an Invisible Stalker. Anyways, this is obviously not keepable. This is fine. Obviously the Dried Arbor here mocking us again. We're on the play, so the top card has to be like very high for me to keep it. Okay, we just win because everyone decides they don't want to mulligan a 4. I don't like that. Like, I don't think you should concede game 1 like that. Because there's no point. Like, what happened? Like, are you really gonna like lose right away? Like, is your deck so bad that it can never win on 4 cards? Because if that's the case, you shouldn't play a deck. Like, if your deck mulligans to 4 and loses like Odo, not like 15% to win, but like 0, then you shouldn't play your deck. Play nothing. Why wouldn't you like? Yeah, you play nothing and like see what your opponent's on. I agree. Like, you could just wait and like see. And then I can't sideboard, right? Like, you should like let me play cards and then you can go like, okay, they're on this and I can board. As for me, I don't know what I have to sideboard here. I'm just gonna like resubmit game 1 deck. My opponent could sideboard like for game 2, but I have no idea what's going on. Yeah, like, look at like this glitch, because the game is not used to concessions during mulligans, so it just like repeats, like keeps hand glitch or something. This is not keepable. Oh dear God, this is also, unless he's ghosting. No, come on, that would, I would hope my opponent would play even. That seems like a pretty weak ghost. Alright. Man, this hand. It has all the pump, but it's a freaking Dried Arbor again. Why? Every time I play a Dried Arbor deck, I seem to have this card like stick to my hand. I don't know if you guys ever play Hearthstone, but like Patches the Pirate is like the exact same card. It's like these cards that like you never ever want to draw. Like I almost never I want to draw like Dried Arbor. And in Hearthstone the same. Like drawing Patches the Pirate is like horrific. But you have to play these cards in these decks because they're so bad. But like, yeah, I have to multi 5 here. You can totally win on 5. It's fine. Just let's multi 4. Well, we're gonna keep and hope for the nut. That's not the nut. Yeah, well, okay. Okay, we know they're on Merfolk. That's a good matchup for us. I'm just gonna like see what I draw. Dear God. If they're on Merfolk, there's a chance my opponent's gonna Spreading Seize this, and that gives me the mana fixing I need for Blighted Agent. Yeah, let's do that. There's a chance we can win. But yeah, of course we're gonna draw Dried Arbor. Like, if I was gonna like choose a land, that's the land I would choose. Keep the 5. Did the 5 didn't have an Infect creature, right? Like, it didn't have an Infect creature, and you like it was a non-dual land. So like there were a lot of things that could have like not worked out. I think like a random 4 was better. Oh sure, I'm not gonna like, yeah. So they don't have Spreading Seas in their hand? Like, they would never attack here if they had Spreading Seas. I have to pass. I'm not gonna attack. I don't want to walk into like a Curse Catcher or a Harbinger of the Tides. Curse Catcher is already brutal enough. Let's not walk into it. Let's not like make it more brutal than it needs to be. I laughed so hard at my opponent like Spreading Seas or something, and then like I can like spell Pierce the Second Vial or something. That'd be really funny. They're gonna worry it dismembers though. So there was a cost to playing out this game, but hey, we're not like that bad, you know. Yeah, but I think my average 4 was better than my like that current 5. That's how bad I thought that 5 was. It's like I thought an average 4 was better than that 5. My opponent doesn't have Lords either. What the hell do they keep? Like, they attack with Mutavault and then flash in a Lord. Man, this is... I mean, they're clearly on Merfolk. They must have, like, Harbinger in their hand. Like, I think, like, there you flash in a Lord, like, 100%. Oh, this is the only card they had on 2. 100% of the time you flash a Lord if you have it there, so they didn't have a Lord. Strangely enough, this card is actually really bad for us. Okay, pay the life. Okay, so we know they're on blue-green specifically, which would explain like why they weren't doing much, because they're playing a much worse mana base. Honestly, think like the blue-green variant of Merfolk is just much worse than the mono blue variant. You have like more stuff. Okay, so this is where I have to think. Let's have free. Because they're gonna look at my hand. Did this resolve? Okay, this is not resolve. So I have to think here. Like, essentially, like I have to think: am I likely to win this game with the current state of affairs? Because once this resolves, like the cat is out of the bag. Dried Arbor could mean a large number of things. And Infect isn't necessarily it. Like I have to think what they're gonna sideboard in, because they're gonna keep these Harbingers, because Dried Arbor decks want Harbingers, and they're gonna keep in Dismembers. Let me check Merfolk's sideboard quickly, or blue greens, like because they could put me on any like kind of creature combo deck or Infect. So they're gonna put me on creature combo, which means they're gonna board in Dismembers. They may not board Spell Pierces though. That's like the big difference. It's like Spell Pierce is good against Infect, but it's bad against the other creature decks. Although you can get a Coco or something, but yeah. This is a really tough spot. Because like here, if they don't have a Lord and they attack, I could block, pump with Might of Old Kroza, Blighted Ancient, and then double pump, but I still lose because I need 2 turns to make that happen. It's not enough stuff, so I'm gonna like concede here because I can't win in 1 attack. If I could win in 1 attack, I would have stayed. But there was no way to win in 1 attack because we needed to top deck a land and like cards we didn't have. So okay. Alright, so they know we're on that. They're on blue-green. They have limited interaction, so Spellskite's okay. But like they can kill it easily. Distortion Strike is pretty important for a matchup like this. We could board in Dispel because they have Dismembers. Dismember on our side's good too. We could board in Descender's Deliverance for Vile, but that seems bad. Let's take out the Spellskite. There's limited interaction there. Let's board out... We don't need the Dried Arbor. They usually never deal damage to themselves, and they usually can Spreading Seas, so let's take out the Dried Arbor. It's just like nothing, like not a card I ever want to draw. And we're never going to fetch it really against Merfolk, because their creatures are essentially unblockable, since we're going to need blue mana at some point. Yeah, they're gonna need blue mana like at some point, so I don't want the liability of drawing this ever. And like they never deal themselves self damage, so this is never attacking for lethal. The Dispel is nice because they have limited interaction, so the Spell Pierce and Dispel look pretty bad. But I know they're boarding in Dismembers. I could cut 1 Spell Pierce though, because it's not like a hard counter. I think 1 Spell Pierce out is okay. Like we have Vines and Defense already, so. I can also board out the 2nd Spell Pierce for like something else. Corruptor's okay. Killing Vile is actually okay because it's like one of their catch-up mechanisms. Harbinger of the Ties is target attack creature, so like I have to attack with Spellskite to make it work. It is a way to fight that effect. I think it's better than Spell Pierce overall. Okay, we're gonna stick with this, I think. We're gonna like just stay relatively combo focused. Yes. Breeding Pool, Agent. The double Pendelhaven being, of course, like the other random like bad news bears side, but this is totally fine. It's a turn 4 kill, and like if they don't have interaction, it's just perfect. So yeah, we're gonna keep this. Dispel is for Dismember. Dismember is like the card I would worry about the most. If we draw a Growth, then it's a turn free kill, which is pretty good. Yeah. They also have Curse Catcher, so yeah. But the second Pendelhaven looks super bad, but it's actually not that bad. If our opponent, I think with Spreading Seas, it still stays a legendary land, but it might be like, I don't know what that interaction is actually between Spreading Seas and Pendelhaven. Let me check that if it happens. So they have Vile. There's no way they're leading with Mutavault if they don't have Vile here. So we're going to just get a Breeding Pool tapped. They could have Dismember. I just have to kind of run into it, I think. Like, we have other Infect creatures in our deck we could draw. But I don't think I can, like, wait an extra turn. Yeah. Has the same name? Okay. I wouldn't worry about 1 or 2 Dismembers when I run 8 or 9, like, Disruption spells. I mean, what else am I putting in? Like, Spellskite? Spellskite would be, like, the next best candidate. So, like, do you prefer Spellskite, then? Because you could attack with through a Harbinger of the Tides? Yeah, so... yeah, if we have Becomment... I don't think this is enough, but yeah. We need, like... some extra damage. I can't, like... Okay, what is this? Spreading Seas? Okay. So, Corruptor would be fine. The fact that the Pendelhaven becomes an island is actually kind of frustrating here. Because I can't, like, really use it for mana. Which is a bit... Like, unless I become immense. But I don't see how this is going to work. Okay. Okay, I think I have to kill over 2 turns. Since I have to kill over 2 turns... let's see here what I do. Yeah, because we get to 2 cards in the graveyard, so I need to, like, empty for Become Immense. Groundswell only gets value this turn. And we also only get value from Pendelhaven if we play it. But we have, like, a lot in hand, so I don't want to really use the Pendelhaven up. This is a tough line. We have to play, like, around potential Curse Catchers. And Harbinger of the Tides and stuff. Let's see here what I do. Because this is too... Yeah, this is way not enough for Become Immense. I could run out of Vines here. Let's see. Yeah, I could, like, run out of Vines. But, like, the Groundswell gets the... I could go, like, Groundswell, put this to 5, and keep green up for, like, Vines. And then, like, kill them next turn with Become Immense. 5 double green, right? Like, 2... Free cards, Vines is 4. So it's pretty close. Yeah, I think this is fine. So, unfortunately, this Pendelhaven does nothing. So I'm just going to have to lose it. Yeah, I think that's the line, is what I just described. Okay, so I'm going to keep this Pendelhaven. That's not garbage. I made a mistake. I should have floated blue there. Because now my opponent can play Curse Catcher. So that was super bad. Like, if my opponent plays Curse Catcher, I'm forced to, like... pay for it, and yeah, that leaves me in a bad spot. Okay, let's just do this. Hey, yeah. Okay, my opponent does have Curse Catcher. That's like the start of good news. Hopefully they don't have 2 interaction spells. 1 is okay. I can deal with 1, but I can't deal with 2 because our opponent like Spreading Seas the Pendelhaven, so I couldn't like float green and do stuff. But that's okay. We have 3 cards in the bin. Okay. Like, what? Look at this. Like, this is why you can't play Blue-Green Merfolk. You can't play a basic forest in this deck. That's, like, you can't play, like, Lord of Atlantis basic forest. That's just not a winning line for Modern Magic. Like, no. Like, you can't do this. Oh, man. Okay. Why would you play basic forest? That seems horrible. I could play something for Become Immense. We're just gonna see what we draw though. Ideally we draw like a green source because then we can kick Vines and like have Vines as backup. Okay, that is like perfect. Okay, well we can get a basic forest here. Right. So rather than have to play around Dismember and... Like, my opponent could have Vapor Snack plus Harbinger, so I'm going to, like, do everything at sorcery speed. So I'm just going to... Vines with Kicker now. And then I can Defense or Vines if I need to. But yeah. Why would you play basic forest and merfolk? Like, this, you can't do this. Don't, please, if you play merfolk, don't do this to yourself. This is pain. Like, I'm in pain for my opponent. This is horrible. Yeah. What can you... Okay, Spell Pierce this? That's actually a really hard line now, because I lose the Harbinger of the Tides with this line. I could just attack and see what happens. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we weren't like ever going around this, so yeah. They Spell Pierce. Man, that was unfortunate. They figured out we were on Infect, because I wouldn't ward this in against like Coco decks. This Violin too is hard. Let's see. My opponent didn't Vial. This is hard. I think I'm going to attack, and then I think they're going to play their Harbinger. We're going to Blossom in defense. Okay, this is tough. They obviously should wait till the last possible moment. We could become immense here, but I think we have like Vines in defense, so we can win a longer game. And once this takes up the free, we're okay. So this is going to Vial something in. This is definitely Harbinger. There's no way they would Vial something else in. So yeah, here we can defense our creature, which deals some more damage. Yeah, the Spell Pierce is kind of interesting here. Like, it was really hard to play around Spell Pierce. Like, I wonder if we could have played around Spell Pierce here, but I don't think so, so... Yeah. Like, I could have, like, not attacked, and they would have kept this Vol at 2. Like, at least we get rid of this effect. We have, like, an abundance. It's possible my line should have been to play... No, I think it's fine. Like, there wasn't a high chance they boarded in Spell Pierce, because Core Company, like, Spell Pierce is okay, but, like, not that great. So, like, sometimes you board it in, but that just seems bad compared to, like, Dismembers and stuff. Okay, what is this? Spreading Seas? That's fine. Because we have, like, lots of green. It's bad for, like, Pendlehaven and stuff. But they kept Violet, too, so that's not good. For what it's worth, they should flash in a Harbinger now. Because they only have green up. And now we can play around. Like, if our opponent lets us untap, we basically... We don't win, though, but we're in good shape. If they have Dismember, it's really awkward because I don't have enough mana to do all of this. Let's see here. If I play Noble Hierarch, my opponent's at 8 Infect, right? So Noble Hierarch is lethal with Vines backup. Okay, that's pretty perfect. Is there a red-green or blue-red version of this deck? No. The other version of Infect is black-green. It plays Plague Stinger instead, which is worth... Like, basically the black-green version plays a card called Phyrexian Crusader. And Phyrexian Crusader, like, requires... like, is good in a metagame where, like, everybody plays Path and Bolt. Right now, people are playing Push. It's a little worse. But yeah, there's no red-green version of Infect. Like, your best Infect creatures are, like, in Sultai colors, so... Yeah, you have to play green because of all the pump spells. Yeah, so this is lethal if my opponent does nothing. Okay, well... I could, like, Vines in response to this, but we might as well see what the creature is. Right, Harbinger number 2, and then we just cast this here, and hopefully that does the trick. We had, like, a lot of Vines and defense cards. Okay, now this is lethal. There's nothing my opponent can do to stop this. Yeah. Tyalani Skin Shifter. That card's just not going to be good unless, like... The problem with, like, Skin Shifter is, like, for that card to be good, you have to copy something that's great. So, like, the problem with that card is, like, you already have to have, like, a threat in play. So, instead of, like, playing Skin Shifter, you should just play more of the threat that you have. It's a cool card, but, like, again, like on this channel, you're going to, like, see me comment, like, high-level competitive. Like, I'm going to, like, definitely be commenting everything from a high-level competitive side. But, like, if you want to, like, design a modern deck for, like, FNM or something that you think is cool, that's totally different. Like, if you're playing at, like, your local store or online and you just want, like, a fun deck, Like, that's totally fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. Like, I will always comment based on competitive Modern. Yeah. 2 Jace Vince Prodigy. I saw it. I wasn't sure what to think of it. Like, can you explain to me why you think it's good? Like, I saw 2 in one deck, so I just don't know, like, how it plays out. I think the selection's interesting. But your opponents are boarding in, like, creature removal, so, like, how likely are you to flip it? But I guess, like, with free mana, you can play Jace and flip it easily. So, yeah. It's probably very good in the post-board games, though. Pre-board, it's probably not very good. Like, you don't need it, but post-board, you would. Oh, man, these hands. These are, like, the hands that, like... Oh, we have Inkmoth Nexus, sorry. So, like, if this was another land, I wouldn't keep this, but because we have Inkmoth, this hand is great. Sorry, I just noticed the Inkmoth Nexus. Fuel for Delve? I think, like, the Fuel for Delve argument is, like, not that necessary. It does let you probably run a 4th Become Immense, though. Yeah. But, yeah, you want to replay creatures is one argument. Okay, let's get a Breed Pool. Your argument is it's better. Your basic argument is that it's better than shrinks to get under Ensnaring Bridge. Really, that works? Wow, I did not know that. 1 second. I thought it was only opponents. Okay, let's just F6 here. Oh wow, yeah, you're right. So. If they have Ensnaring Bridge, you can just... Kozilek's totally fine here. The only card we care about is Inkmoth Nexus. So, like, you can play... Yeah, so just to, like, put it back here. So you can play Jane's Rinse Prodigy to go for Ensnaring Bridge by shrinking your own creature and then attacking, which I think is, like, the coolest interaction I've heard of today. By far. That's super sweet. Yeah. Yeah. Spellskite is good. The problem is, like, Spellskite was at its best when people were playing Lightning Bolt. And when people are playing Fatal Push, Spellskite is just, like, a preemptive blossoming defense. So, like, no tempo blossoming. Worth noting, last turn I could have gone for Inkmoth rather than Noble. But, like, there are a lot of discard spells in Modern. And the 2 cards I cared the most about in my hand were both Noble and Inkmoth. So, right. So here we're not going to attack for 1. They're pretty clearly on Shadow, so I'm not going to deal them 1 damage. Like, I don't want to give their Shadows +1 for so on. That just seems terrible. So my opponent is, like, clearly lining up some kind of removal here. Pendelhaven's interesting. I only have 1 defense spell. So I have, like, a few options. I can, like... choose to go for it now, or I can choose to wait. Like, my opponent took Blossoming Defense. That's a pretty big signal that they have, like, something going on. Yeah, so 2 Jace Vryn's Prodigy over Spell Pierce and Spellskite. Yeah, we could try it. We're on game 3. The stream's been pretty quick, so I might try that. Anyways, we're playing Pendelhaven. I don't know if I can play around 2 pushes. Like, 2 pushes might be too much for me. This is also lethal if they only have 1 push. If they have Stubborn Denial, then it's not. So this is actually kind of a difficult spot. Because, like, we played our land. I probably should have thought about the land play. Because I could have waited a turn on playing this land. Like, if I waited an extra turn, what's, like, going to happen? Like, how much better is this going to get for me? Like, because they have to tap for a Fret at some point, and they have to take damage. Let's see. If they have, like, Fatal Push plus... Like, if they have 2 pushes, that seems too hard to beat. If they have Stubborn plus Push, this is super bad for us, too. Because we lose our only Infect creature. I think I can wait here. It might be like we're just going to miss lethal. I'm in no rush, attack for 2. I don't think that's correct. I want to get some more information on what's going on first. I know it gives them, like, time. Because they do have to, like, tap for a Fret at some point. Also, like, They're hurting their own life total. Noble, like, yeah. It does fuel Delve, I guess. That's yeah. Okay, so look at this, right? Like now they're tapping out for something. Like our hand is pretty stacked apart from the vines. So, right, they play Tassiger. Now we know that they have Steam Vents, right? So I know more like that they have Stubborn and Push. Like I get more information on what's going on. Like, look at the cards that my opponent decided to keep, right? Like they decided to keep, instead of the Thought Scour, the Death Shadow, so they probably have Kolaghan's Command in hand, which does fight Nexus. I'm in the same spot. I get to, like, basically, like, by waiting a turn, I get to, like, see what they are doing. And they also, like, can't play, like, if I do this as well, like, they can't, like, Serum Vision, so that card becomes a bit dead. Okay, we have Growth. Yeah, the main problem is these Groundswells are bad. I think that's, like, the main problem. Like, we get very, very little value from them. So here, I'm going to put my opponent on Stubborn. So what does that mean? If they have Stubborn. Yeah, I think Groundswell not being active is the best argument for going in there. Yeah, when they fetch the Steam Vents, I'm pretty sure they have Stubborn. Not a card we could play with around anyways before. Yeah, they did outbolt the bird, that's true. So they probably didn't have Fatal Push to start with. You're right. Okay, so we're gonna attack. Let's see, do I want to Pendelhaven this? Probably okay. Yeah, that's fair. Like, I think the argument that they didn't push the Hierarch is the best one I've heard so far, actually. Yeah, we don't need to, like, do anything more than free Infect, I think, here. Right, so they have the push. We're gonna Vines, and they're gonna Stubborn us. Because they know we have Vines. It's because of, like, the way our hand was structured that I was pretty sure they have Push Stubborn, and they're still gonna do it, right? Okay. Like, this would have happened last turn. 100% this would have happened last turn, but they would have Thought Scoured. Two cards. I guess we have to pass here. Yeah, my plan is to kill on regular damage. I just can't, like, right now, right? Because I could, like, Mutagenic for... Actually, this is lethal if my opponent doesn't block and has nothing. This is signaling, like, Snapcaster, though. I could try. Like, this loses to Snapcaster Mage, but I think this is fine. Like, it also loses to Denial. This loses, like, Snapcaster or Denial. I think it's okay. Like, yeah, it's like exactly lethal if my opponent has nothing. Which is not a likely scenario, to be totally fair with you, but seems better than staying back here. They might, like, block here. If they do, I can just Groundswell. But, like, if they block, they're, like, 100% ever removal, though. Actually, I can't really Groundswell here. I guess I could still, but yeah, because they can, like, fetch and go to 5. But, like, Groundswell plus Growth is okay. Or I could double Groundswell. Right, so we can Groundswell. I'm okay with, like, using these pump spells, since Become Immense is so good anyways. Right, so right now, we don't need to do anything else. Yeah, they're gonna do this. I should have tapped Pendelhaven for what it's worth rather than Breeding Pool, because then my opponent knows I don't have Spell Pierce. Basic Island? Okay, they have Snapcaster Mage. Wait, what? Why would you fetch basic island there? I don't get it. That seemed terrible. You just had your shadow die for no gain. You like literally traded a death shadow for groundswell? That just seems weird to me. You could have easily like just taken the damage. Yeah. Our opponent would have definitely pushed last turn if they had it, so. What is this? Hooligans? Another Tassiger? Wow, Vigilant Tassiger. Okay. Let me think here. If I play a second Hark, it goes to 2. It's still lethal. They have to block with both. But if it goes to 2, the problem is I have to use 2 pump spells. I kind of have to use 2 pump spells anyways if my opponent blocks with Tassiger. Right? Like... Yeah. I think I'm okay with trading 2 cards for this Tassiger. That's fine. Yeah, because it's 2... I have to use a Growth, though, which is the one I don't want to use, but it's fine. Let's attack with Hark. I would block with Tassiger here, like, I think. It's a pretty safe block. Like, +2/+2 doesn't really solve most issues, so it's a safe-ish block. Yeah, I don't like this one, by the way. I'll skip. Yeah, they block with Tassiger, which is super safe, so I have to, like, Groundswell this and Growth it, too. It's just fine. I'm okay with trading 2 pump spells for a Tassiger. They're not going to be like that much more useful. But I'm really shocked my opponent didn't pump their Death Shadow, like by getting a basic island. That seemed really bad. So now they're like with 2 cards, but we have 2 Hierarchs. We kind of have to just take free damage here. My opponent attacks. I don't think they can, but I didn't really get good at Magic when I misplayed maybe like my turn 3 attack, but thanks. A lot of time and dedication, I guess. Maybe too much. Okay, we're not gonna block this. I just play a lot, right? So that's like what it boils down to, is like at the end of the day I play a lot and then I have good teammates. I have teammates that give me like advice and tips. So those teammates make it a lot better for me, because without their advice it'd be much harder to do well. So by the way, for this game, we could go for lethal. It seems pretty dubious when my opponent attacks, but and my opponent has, like, they probably would have made a land drop unless they're totally bluffing, but they would have made a land drop like last turn, so the card in their hand is probably not a land. It's something. I don't know what that something is, though. What we're going to do here is going to play Verdant Catacombs, and we're going to attempt to get there because we can just get a Dried Arbor. For how much is, like, the question I have here, though. Like, do I just try to go for lethal? Because if I miss, this is over. We're just going to go to no blocks, make sure, like, a snap. Okay, so there is a Snapcaster Mage here. Yeah, so my opponent, like, probably is planning to kill me with this, but we can get a Dried Arbor. Right, they get Fatal Push, that's fine. Yeah. They should Fatal Push this pre-blocks. Or, like, they can block and Fatal Push if they want, that's fine too. Yep. It's possible I should have attacked with both creatures, but in this scenario they could block with Snap and Fatal Push the other creature, and that would end up worse for me. Alright, so here... Yeah. I think my opponent misplayed this game. I'm pretty sure they could have won this. By just like making this a 5-5 originally. Right, so push the other hierarch. That's gonna just resolve. Nothing I can do about it. Yeah. Yep, so they're gonna just go for lethal, and we have a Tried Arbor. If they have like, we're gonna know if they have removal too this way, because of course my opponent would just win with removal. So, like, finally, Tried Arbor has shown its use. This is why you have it in the deck for these exact situations. Our opponent has no removal. I can confidently say that. Zero chance they would let this block happen if they had removal. Okay, I lied. They could have a Temur Battle Rage and none of this matters. That explains why like the game went the way it did. But they should have fetched a non-basic. That seemed wrong. Okay, so what do you think? Actually, wait. I could like survive here, right? Like I could Pendelhaven this to 3 toughness and then become immense this up to 8, 9. So it survives at least, yeah. Actually, 1 second. Yeah, I can't beat another Stubborn Denial here for sure because it's a 5-5. Yeah, we're gonna become immense this for green and some cards. Right. Now we have to top deck, but yeah. Yeah, so here we trade, sadly, but yeah. 2 actually, but yeah. So our opponent's like down to 1 card. This is a like ridiculous. What? Did I screw up here or something? Yeah, trample. But like, I'm alive. Did I miss something? I had to do become immense, I'm pretty certain. Like, I could have like used Groundswell instead of Penalty, but that just seems wrong. So I'm pretty sure that was fine. It's okay. Yeah, okay. We're good, we're good. So right now we can put our opponent to free, but that's obviously not where we want to be. So we need to attack for a little less this turn. Yep. Okay, our opponent's like flooding. So they're going to play the last card if they have it. Most likely this turn. If they have... Their last card may be Street Rave. I would highly recommend playing Street Rave if they have it. Okay, this is Kolaghan's Command. Kolaghan's Command is like super bad news for us. Well, because we die, mainly. Yeah. Sadly for us, that was the last card. Yeah, I died from 2 damage. That's a shame. Okay. So we played Shadow, Thinks, we want Relics, Dismember. Distortion Strike is... I was wrong about it. We should actually have them. Even though they have removal and stuff. Because normal damage is important. Distortion Strike's good. Like, in normal... I forgot that it was, like, this important. I think the mutagenics are probably the worst one, so they are easy to cut. We don't want to cut any of the vines, or we can then cut like some of. I don't want to. The spell pierces are bad, so that's easy. So now we have to cut 2 cards for these distortion strikes. I'm okay with cutting. Let's see, Groundswells I think are the worst one out of the ones remaining. So yeah, let's just go with this. Yeah, because regular damage is good enough in some scenarios, so yeah. Counters are awful. They have discard. What? I don't want counter magic against discard. That just seems terrible. This hand is like so-so, but the games are going to be long, so these become immense. They're going to be fine. So I'm going to like keep and get Breeding Pool through Western Elf. Corruptor? Corruptor's okay, yeah. But yeah. Corruptor might be okay. But, like, I don't like it. Like, it's a 2-2 for free mana. Like, I'd rather have Kitchen Vinks. Like, and also, like, what are you boarding out for Corruptor? Like, yeah. That's my question. It's like, it's not like, this card is fine, sure. But, like, what are you boarding out to make room for this card? Yeah, Death Shadow is like one of like the reason this deck went extinct. I'm pretty sure. Like Death Shadow picked up, and it's a horrific matchup. Okay, well that's fine because we have a second one, so that actually works out in our favor. Right, we're gonna play Glistener Elf. No, like Spell Pierce and Dispel are bad because they should keep in all their Inquisitions and Thoughtseizes. I'm gonna assume my opponent knows that. Because like knowing what your opponent's pump spells are is such like relevant information. So yeah. Like I don't like Spell Pierce. Dispel Pierce might be okay because it counters discard, but Dispel for sure is awful. So like you could have Spell Pierce over Groundswell, I guess, but then like you can't like board out all these pump spells. Target creature gets -2/-2. Discarding Snapcaster. That can't be right. My opponent's hand has to be like loaded for this to be correct. I'm gonna like Might in response. I'd rather trade. Trading a Might for an Elf is fine. Like yeah, it's just like playing an instant speed Glistener Elf. Let's see. I could get like a basic Forest here. I don't really need double blue, so. Yeah, basic Forest is fine. Okay, so we're gonna Might this. They're gonna discard Become Immense. So if we draw 6, we need to draw like literal Mights to win here. Yeah, so do this. Yeah. If we draw Might, we win. I don't think any other spam spell does it. So yeah, because this is like 6, which is a lot. But yeah, we need like, yeah. So they take Become Immense. I might like just, I don't know about this Become Immense. I'm like very tempted to just load on it. Ugh, this is tough. Become Immense is super good. Like landing it here is good. I think I just want to cast this Blighted Agent though and deal Infect damage, since that means that any pump spell we draw is good, and our opponent can't tap out for Liliana without that risk. They could tap out for it and like just hope, of course, but yeah. Discarding Snapcaster Mage is weird. It tells me like my opponent's probably lacking a land or has land plus another snap. Like I wouldn't discard this card with a third land in my hand ever. So chances are like they don't. If they had this Stern Visions, that was a much better card to lose than Snap, in my view. Because Snap can block this Glistener Elf if I pump in response. They top both. Ugh, top both is bad. Thoughtseize or Inquisition? I can beat, like, Thoughtseize is hard, Inquisition is beatable. Tassiger? Okay, well, we're live to draw a lot to win. Yeah, that's free, and yeah, that's good. K command? I would 100% discard Kulligan's command in that spot. Yeah, they know, cool. Why was my clock so low? Did I? Oh, game 1 was super long, right? That makes sense. They might have a K command. I would discard K command. It's like your worst piece of interaction if they don't have like Spellskite. Like with Snapcaster, you get the Snap Fatal Push. So like against a Glistener Elf, you get to like block plus kill something. Like that's really good. So like Snapcaster just seems way better than Kulligan's command in general. Like, because like technically you can make them discard a card, I guess. But yeah, like try to 2 for 1. I don't know about these Spell Pierces. I think you're like, there's a big danger of over sideboarding with these. But, and like you saw that game, like imagine if I had drawn Spell Pierce instead of Groundswell. So, like I would have lost that game. Like if I had these Spell Pierces instead of these 2 Groundswells, I would have like lost that game. Because my opponent would have been tapped. This is the problem, right? Like when they play discard, counter magic is super bad. Like, I understand like you want to like counter like if they were like just a blue control deck, these would be amazing. But they have discard spells, so they know about these Spell Pierces and they can play around them. And like sometimes like we have Blossoming Defense and Vines, so it's fine. Yeah, like yeah, they have discard. This becomes much worse because they can like just make it discarded if it's bad, and if it's like if it's good, and if it's bad, they just leave it in your hand. You're like, okay, I'll have these useless cards. Which is why I don't like it. I'd rather have like make sure I'm not like running out of pump spells, and I don't think like a 2/2 for free is really where we want to be in this matchup. We already are boarding in Kitchen Finks. I don't want to like board in 5 free drops. I think this is okay. Like you can make an argument for Spell Pierce over Spellskite. I think that's a much better argument if you're going to make it, but Spellskite, like, sucks up the 2 damage from K command, I believe. So, yeah. I gotta double check that interaction. I'm pretty sure it works. Colligans, command, Spellskite. Oh, literally somebody asked the same question. Yeah, you can change the target of the 2 damage. So, yeah, Spellskite's better. I gotta just stick with this. Yeah. By the way, who do I play with on the team? I play with MTG min card. So like a team of, well, it's like, yeah, we're like a so we're like a combination of European, like we're a little bit from every country, and we're just like, and we kind of like just were upcoming players that just decided to band together. Some of it, like the Asian side of the team is like on MTG min card plus me. And then collected companies like the other side. So like the team is like, you can like check the team. I have a link in my channel, and that is like a link to my personal team. And then there's like Javier Dominguez, who came second at Worlds as well. Andrea Mengucci, Kelkano is on our team. Yeah, Chimaharu Saito. We're having Jeremy for next PT. So yeah. If I sub, can you give me some MTG cards? It's gonna be a little hard for me to do that. Like, I mean, I could give you cards, but they're not gonna be very good. Tell you what, if you see me like at a live event someday, like I will happily sign any card you want. That's about as much as I can do. On Moto, I can only troll you with like really terrible commons. So yeah. Yeah. Okay. So by the way, this hand is great, so we're gonna keep it. It's sometimes good to tank a little bit so that your opponent's like thinking if your hand is like marginal, but this hand is obviously insane. Yeah. Like our opponent's like in a tough spot now because they think we were tanking about our hand. Sometimes it's worth doing that, like just taking like an extra, don't too much. Like we all have like lives to lay out, and like I don't want to like encourage people to play slowly. But one of the arguments Paulo has, which is interesting, is you should be tanking like on what your plays are and your sequence are, like during your opening hand. Like, what am I going to do turn 1? What am I going to do turn 2? Like during the opening hand, because that's the best time to do it. Because then like you see how your hand plays out. As for this hand, like the sequence is going to be like Noble Hierarch into Agent, most likely. Because if our opponent has a discard spell, they're going to take Agent. So we can't stop this. And now they could kill the Hierarch, but we still have the ability to get a Dryad Arbor later. So it's right, exactly. So it's okay to like just get a Breeding Pool this turn. And play a Noble Hierarch. We could also play a Basic Forest, yeah. And let me skip this song. I like Metroid's soundtrack, but that wasn't like the best remix of it. Okay, so we can take Breeding Pool, which is some damage, so it's not like a free fetch. But yeah. Yeah. But like you can notice like Infect or regular, either Infect or regular are fine. You just have to like choose your moment. The problem with regular is your regular creatures don't have evasion. So against like say Death Shadow, it's super hard to get in there for regular because you can't like chip damage them. Okay, Fatal Push. That makes sense to me. Right, okay. That Fozzie's push, okay. Oh, yeah, and I know my whole hand. Sorry, you're right. That was like a base mistake. I wasn't thinking. So I should have played Verdant Catacomb rather than Heath because they Fozzie's me, and obviously Heath was I was like thinking about other stuff for sure. Like somebody mentioned that like they know my hand, and now they're gonna still know my hand because like Inkmoth Nexus is by far the best play. They top both cards with Visions. Okay, we definitely have to play Inkmoth Nexus here. There's no rational reason not to really. They have very few answers to this. Yeah, but you're right. I should have 100% like played Catacomb so my opponent didn't know what I had. So that was my mistake. My bad. But yeah, facing 2 Shadow decks is a bit unfortunate. I haven't faced them for a while, so I mean, any Fozzie's deck is bad for you, really. Any aggro Fozzie's deck is bad. I think that's why you can't really play Infect in the current format. Is like Fozzie's decks are so bad for you. All right, like what do I do here? My opponent has like 2 mana up and can like just do what they want with this Inkmoth Nexus. So we have Blighted Agent. Pendlehaven Agent is okay. I could also fetch a Dried Arbor, but we have Inkmoth, so I kind of like am okay with just playing this Agent out with defense up. If they have like removal plus Stubborn, at least we're getting these cards out of their opponent's hands. So yeah. And also, we're protecting ourselves versus one static caster by doing this. Which they do have sometimes. They top both cards though, so that's not a good sign. Let's just play this Blighted Agent. Yeah. So they top both cards with Serum Visions. Unless they were planning to fetch. Like, they could have like a conditional card they're going to fetch away. Okay, the card was really good. If they decided to like just untap and draw the card, like the card was probably very important. Baby Jason Infect. Yeah, somebody was talking about that. It's interesting. Death Shadow, okay. Okay. We have a lot of mana. So, it depends if our opponent has Push Stubborn, because we could go for Lethal here. This is a tough turn. I don't think it's going to get better for us, but the chances that my opponent has Push plus Stubborn are super high. I don't know how much I can play around it. So they fought Seize Us. They know about this Verdant Catacombs. And they know about this Become Immense. I think this might... Let me see. They know about the Might as well. So... Wait, do they know about the defense? Yeah, they know about the defense. So, they know these 4 cards. They actually know literally what my hand is. So... They may not have an answer. Like, they may have to... Like, they might just be cold to lethal and hope I don't do it. This is a hard turn. Relic first? Why Relic? Like what? Like I don't mind going for Relic first, but like what's the value of going for Relic first? It tells my opponent like what my last card is. Like, what am I doing with Relic that like has any use here? I don't mind playing it. I'm just like curious. I don't see like the use currently. I might be wrong. Because they're going to keep in Stubborn, they're going to keep in Push. This is turn 4 when they're on the play, so they didn't make a land drop. Oh my god. They already played a push, right? So they have free pushes at least? Why would he Stubborn Relic? He literally knows my hand. If he Stubborns Relic, he loses. And the Relic's not doing anything relevant. It's not like a threat or anything. Okay. I just need to put myself in like the least losing position. But if I use Become Immense Might, because they're at 0 Infect, then like no matter what I do, I'm gonna be kind of cold here. Because like I have to go for Might and then Become Immense, so I will not be running a Taking Turns deck at this point. There's only 2 decks left after this. Yeah, it rules out like any interaction I might have. For sure, like playing the Relic here is bad. I mean, it's fine. I'm gonna play it like and try to cantrip, but yeah. This is a tough turn. My opponent literally knows my hand, and they kept top on Visions. Like they knew my hand, they knew what my plan would be, and they kept top on Visions, which tells me that they probably have it. That said, I think I'm gonna lose to an attack. I don't see how this is gonna get better for me. Like, I can't like really wait a turn. It's not like any of this is gonna get better unless I draw like another defense effect. But we need to like, cause like I could go like Bloody Agent Pendlehaven and kill them in 2 turns. But that seems wrong. I'm just gonna go for it. I think that's like the best line. Cause like I could have like fetched a Dried Arbor, for example, with this. That was like the other consideration. But yeah. They could respond here. They are at least considering it, so that's good on their part. Right, so we want a Might. The other thing they might have is just Stubborn, which I did not consider before doing this whole sequence. But that scene, like, they might have just Stubborn Denial. If they have just Stubborn, then I can keep the I can go Relic and keep the Blossoming Defense up. Okay, so Pendlehaven is not going to do much this turn since it's already a 5/5. Yeah, okay, let's just tap the Pendlehaven. Actually, if they have Static Caster, then I want this access to this Pendlehaven. Because that's a free way to counter Static Caster or whatever than having to use a spell. I should have attacked first for what it's worth. But yeah. Yeah, that's what I thought. Right, okay, they don't have Fatal Push, they had a Stubborn. So the line might have been to maybe Pendlehaven, but then like we don't have defense up while going for this, so yeah. Okay, so we're gonna attack for 5. And I'm not going to play the Relic here. They can't cast Static Caster. Not now, but they could cast it later. So here I have like an awkward situation where like I could use the Inkmoth to block, but I only really lose to... What do I lose to? Like if I lose to damage wise, like if they go fetch, I don't lose because I'm at 12. Because it'd be 7, but I lose to Street Ray fetch. Like if I don't have Inkmoth Nexus on tap, because I could activate Nexus and block Shadow. And then like but I can't like deal them lethal, so I need the Nexus next turn to deal them lethal, so I'm just gonna play this Relic here. This is not very good. Let me skip. Do you have a second Stubborn? I would not Stubborn this. That seems ludicrous to me. Yeah, we can exile a card now. It's fine. No cost of doing so. No. I can't imagine they boarded in Surgical. That would be weird. Right, so our opponent... If they had Fatal Push, Dismember? Dismember is super good, yeah. Because it means lethal. That was super well played by my opponent. Like, yeah, so their whole line was... They could have killed my creature, I guess, by going... Dismember in response to Become Immense and Stubborn, like the Blossoming Defense, so... But this way, like, I can't even block with Inkmoth, so that was really well considered by them. That was well played by my opponent. I like that line a lot. That was a really, like, if you want to, like, look at, like, my opponent played that super well. Because, like, that way they don't, like, I don't have a blocker. Like, I'm not going to have Dryad Arbor or this. They do know my hand. So, I know that they know my hand. So, I was, like, wondering if I had to, like, I was going to give them credit for having something, but, yeah. That was close. That was a good game, actually. But, yeah, like... Because I could have, like, blocked with Inkmoth or stayed back. But then, like, if I activate an Inkmoth, he just dismembers. My opponent just dismembers, so yeah. Have I played any Standard yet? Not New Standard, no. I have no plans to play Standard until, like, a little later. Because, like, the format's brand new, which is exciting. But, like, there's a Modern Pro Tour coming up. And, like, there's no reason for me to play Standard for a while. Like, I won't play Standard. My next Standard event is actually a long time away. My next, like, there might be, like, some online event I haven't thought of. But, like, my next Standard event is going to be, like, dear God, yeah, that's far. Actually, wow. Yeah, it's not going to be until May. So, like my GP, like, playing GP and stuff, so yeah. I don't plan to play Standard until May. There's no reason to. I prefer Modern most of the time. I'll play first, yeah. It's 5:30. I think if our next games go fast, I would have time for another league. That game was like super long. Obviously, this hand is awful. We're on the play. We're gonna mulligan this. I mean, we're gonna keep this. I don't want Distortion Strike, so not very good with what we have. My opponent has like anything, we lose. Let me think what we want to do. What's the land that would like put the because this puts me on Valakut, but they're most likely to want a Thoughtseize if I'm on Valakut. Like what can I do to like make them think that Thoughtseize is invaluable? I guess Catacombs. Like there's Goyf and stuff though. Heath tells them I have creatures. Maybe Foothills is the best. It's all pretty much shades of different garbage though. Like yeah. Am I bringing any secret modern deck at the PT? I wish. Oh, we're against Tron. Okay, this is like the best possible matchup, but like mulliganing like this is not helping us. Actually, this is probably Eldrazi Tron. Eldrazi Tron is a lot harder because they have access to Walking Ballista. I think we have to play the agent and like start dealing damage. I'm not gonna play the Pendlehaven out because my opponent might have Walking Ballista, and I don't want them to know that they need to kill this agent right away. So might as well get a forest with this and play the agent out. Also filters our library a little bit, which isn't so bad. Yeah, like if they're on Tron, this is insane. If they're on Eldrazi Tron, it's a little harder. Because Eldrazi Tron like has Thought-Knot Seers and like maximizes ballistas, while regular Tron only has one ballista. So this is Eldrazi Tron, I suspect. This is gonna destroy us. Yeah, I could have like waited a turn, I guess. This is my only Infect creature, but I don't think that was gonna win because like I really needed the chip damage. Let's play Pendlehaven. Yeah, this is Eldrazi Tron, and we mulligan to 5. We're only one Infect creature, so yeah. Walking Ballista is like one of the hardest cards to beat. Like regular Tron only plays 1, so it's very easy to beat. But like Eldrazi Tron plays like 4, so that's a lot harder. They have Thought-Knot Seer as well. Jeez, what the hell is going on? It's like I played Tron yesterday, and my opponent did this garbage too. Like they just played. They're on regular Tron. That deck plays 1 ballista. Oh my god, that is insane. Oh man, this is insane. Like. It's hard for me to understate how incredible this, like, my opponent's on regular Tron, with natural Tron, no land search, and drew their 1-of Ballista. That's just unreal. Dear God. Why no fetch to get dried? We are planning to fetch to get dried now. Oh, you mean last turn? I guess we could have done it last turn, yes. That's fair. You're right, we should have done the dry the turn before. That is correct. So we could have at least dealt 1 damage. What is this, Karn? Worldbreaker? Dear God. Yeah, I'm going to Pro Tour Rivals. Dear God. Yeah, this is... It's not over, but like this Oblivion Stone's pretty bad for us. Let me think. I don't think Drawed Arbor is gonna solve anything. It is non-land. Might as well get it, I guess. Because this Oblivion Stone doesn't kill it. Because it's not land, but yeah. I'm gonna need like Distortion Strike and like some insane-o luck. Blighted Agent, sure. I could have tapped a Dried Arbor, I guess, but yeah. Yeah, I can't like understate how good my opponent's draw was. They drew their 1-of Ballista and Natural Tron. That's really unreal. like they dear God. Wait, what is this? Again, the Spirit Dragon. Oh, that looks great. What a fun card this is. I'm basically gonna concede here. There's nothing I can do. This draw was too much. I can't win against this. I gotta double check. I think this exiles Dried Arbor. Yeah, it has a green pip, so yeah, it should be gone. Yeah, okay, we're good. That was fun. was very fun. Okay. Spellskite makes Karn a lot worse. Corruptors and Dissenter's Deliverance and Claims are obviously what we want. We don't want Dismembers. Distortion Strike's also not needed. We want interaction for sure. That's for sure. But I want to be the fastest possible combo deck. We're never getting there in regular damage, so we can remove this Dried Arbor, which is just a liability. I know, like, you can kill them technically for an Oblivion Stone, but it's just, like, super wishful thinking. Like, might as well, like, try to kill them with Spellskite if you're gonna do that. Let's see here. They board in, like, they board in Collective Brutality. That's their, like, most likely cards. Because they're boarding Collective Brutality... They also are like gonna have relics and stuff. They're gonna keep in relics. They're not that amazing, but they do blank a little bit, become immenses. But they're gonna have more interaction and stuff, so. I think I can cut one Become Immense. It looks weird, but maybe it's wrong. Our games are gonna go longer. We have Nature's Claim. Okay, what do I need to board out here? Actually, I don't think I need Spellskite. They're like sure it stops the card, but as does Blossomy Descent and Vines and Spell Pierce. We have more than enough interaction. And then I need to remove probably the worst interaction piece left. Heart's good, Crow's is good, Groundswell. I guess Groundswell, like, we don't want too many, I guess. Everything else is good. Okay, let's just go with this. Alright. Play first, yes. Well, this hand lacks an Infect creature, so we're gonna, like, it's very good otherwise, but this hand has too many. Yeah, Spellskite not that great. Okay, we're gonna keep this. Pendelhaven, we don't really need the land. What I could do, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to shuffle this though, is I could top this, and my plan is to fetch it away with Breeding Pool. So I could like just though keep it and like take that idea. Yeah, I'm not going to board out Become Immense. I just realized it was bad, by the way. Don't worry. My opponent only has one Walking Ballista, but they're going to have Collective Brutality probably post board, which is harder. Green Pool. Yeah, Spellskite's not that great except against Ballista, but they only have one. If I was against Eldrazi Tron, I'd have to play Ballista. This is a little late to the party. I could play like Listener Elf with backup with protection. But they're gonna like Collective Brutality. If they have Collective Brutality, it's super bad. So I'd rather just use up my mana as most efficiently as possible. They don't have that many creatures. Like, and also they'd have to have like Green Black Source plus Brutality here, which is unlikely. Yeah, they're just gonna go for Natural Tron. Okay. Catacombs. So we're gonna go for Tron. How much is this? Like 5 Infect. I don't want to like use up the landfall in case I top deck Groundswell, but I do need to start like dealing damage. I guess if I draw a Groundswell, it would be lethal if I use the Vines now. Yeah, I want to like use this up now, like just to deal 5 damage. Yeah, that seems good. If they like get Ballista, like they get Ballista, I can't really stop that because then Groundswell plus defense would be lethal. So. Yeah, 5 Let's just see if they try to warping will this for some reason. They shouldn't, but yeah. Well, let's get a breeding pool. There's no reason not to fetch right away if that's my plan, though. Like, if I gotta play the Glistener, I'll kind of no matter what. Because, like, the interaction spell I can never deal with against them is, I can never deal against Oblivion Stone, so I can't, or Ugin, like, with this hand, so I kind of have to just deal the infect damage where, like, it's given to me. Right, then Glistener Elf. Now they're gonna fit Tron, and if they have the one Walking Ballista, they win. Tower, sure. Because they only play one Ballista, so... If they have Karn, it's okay. Yeah, Karn's fine. This is why you want to play a second Infect creature. Like, at this point, like, yeah. That's okay. We basically have to kill top deck to win. Yeah, we got there. Cool. I'm good with this. We can just do this first. And then, yeah. Growth. We can pay mana, it's all good. Yay! Infect, yay! We did mulligan to 5 to be totally fair, so... Yeah. We didn't need more cards, but we did mulligan to 5. Okay, so... On the draw, Spellskite's a little better because Karn turn free is a problem. They don't always have it. Like, Tron turn free is not necessarily that likely because you need both Tron pieces in hand. Plus, like, a land search of some sort. And believe it or not, the music you're listening to is based off Tetris, which is surprising even me. I think it's fine. I don't see what I would board out for a Spellskite. Like, if Karn hits it on turn free, it hits on turn free. Like, dear God, what is up with these hands? I mean, we can't keep... This is not the Infect creature we're looking for. Okay, there we go. There's the Tetris team. Spell Pierce is, like, super good, but, like, on the draw, it's a lot worse because you can't, like, snag a map. I'm gonna mulligan this. Okay, this doesn't have an Infect creature. This is a lot harder. Because we are at 6 cards. We have lethal with any Infect creature, so I could, like, keep and, like... How many Infect creatures do we have? We have 4 Inkmoth Nexus. Plus... 8 other Infect creatures, plus Viridian Corruptor, so that's like a full 14. Right, so we have 14 Infect creatures and 2 draws. The odds aren't that high, but I think they're higher than mulliganing, and we have a Spell Pierce to attack our opponent, so we're not totally cold. I'm gonna keep, but it's pretty awkward. Inkmoth Nexus is what we're looking for. Map, okay. There's not much of a point in Spell Piercing next turn since our opponent played map, so we're gonna just play this Hierarch. We're gonna do it like with Breeding Pool first, I think, just to get out lands from our deck. I could have like gone Nexus into Hierarch, but that doesn't really work out. So yeah, let's just get like as much mana as we can on the table. Like, let's line up a turn-free kill, right? Like, Might, Groundswell? Yeah, okay. Like, currently we're lined up for a turn-free kill with Spell Pierce backup. So if our opponent goes for Natural Tron into Karn, we're fine. The problem is if they, like, hit a Ballista or something. They obviously, like, come on. Oh, okay, they have Forest? Wow, they actually missed. But the problem is they can get Ghost Quarter with this. So it's kind of awkward in that sense. So we might have to top deck like a... because Ghost Quarter is a possibility, we might have to top deck like a defense style effect. Which is awkward, but yeah. Second Noble Hierarch, okay. Not attacking is weird, but not playing the second Hierarch is even weirder. So... And like... Let me think. This is hard, because... Essentially... Like, I could, like, not play the Nexus so my opponent focuses on just going for a map. But then I lose a turn of damage. Because, like, my opponent isn't going to go for Ghost Quarter if I don't play the Nexus here. But if I don't play the Nexus, then, like, I'm missing on turn 3 potential. And also, like, the other problem is, like, this Groundswell needs a land. So, yeah. And we don't have, like, defense. If I had, like, Blossoming defense, I would totally, like, just go for it. But, like, the fact that our opponent can get a Ghost Quarter is super awkward here. This is a really hard turn. Let's see. This is... freeing. Yeah, any line gets there. We don't need to keep up Spell Pierce this turn, but I don't think hitting for 2, like, Noble Hierarch damage is really going to do much here. Because if our opponent goes, like, for Oblivion Stone, then we still win. Like, they have map right now. How do I play around this? We can counter Ugin with Spell Pierce. I think our line is to go Pendelhaven, Hierarch, attack, have Spell Pierce up. I know this is, like, wasting potential, but, like, our opponent can just get a Ghost Quarter. And I don't want them to do that. I'd rather they think we don't have an Infect, like, I'd rather they don't know we have an off Nexus. It'd be, like, super forward thinking if they, like, get Ghost Quarter this turn, though. Because, like, they could just play Quarter and kill the Nexus, which I don't like. We might as well get in there for 2, though. That's just free-ish. Yeah, so they're gonna, like, map for a Tron piece. And then, yeah, we can... Right, so they got mine. I don't want them getting Ghost Quarter. Ghost Quarter is, like, the card I would have worried about there. Dismiss. And we can Spell Pierce some kind of other interaction. The problem comes if they have a second map here. Because they could easily kill this Nexus anyways, if they have a second map. But if they have Sylvan's Scrying, like, the problem with map is it gives them, like, the choice. But with Sylvan's Scrying, they have to commit. So if they go for, like, Sylvan's Scrying here, our Spell Pierce is going to be good on non-Ballista. Non-Ballista, non-World Breaker. Our opponent's tanking, though, here, which is interesting. They're passing? They have nothing to do? This is a bit weird that they have nothing to do, but okay. Maybe they have nothing, like... Okay, we have Nature's Claim. That would have been really good. I probably would have, like, if I had Nature's Claim and, like, I would have claimed my opponent's map. They might have, like, Tron. Be weird, but... Okay, so let's play Nexus here. And we have access to quite a few things that we could do, so let's attack with Hierarch here. Might as well attack with Hierarch, I'm pretty sure here. No drawback to doing so. We could, like, attack with Hierarch before playing the Nexus, of course. That would have been better. So then our opponent doesn't have info. If our opponent has Dismember, 100%, they should just, like, untap here. Yeah. So now they're going to go for Tower. I assume they have it. Yeah, okay. And then they're going to go for, like, hopefully Karn or Ugin, and we can Spell Pierce, and they don't have Dismember as well. Ugin would be, like, the nut for us. Okay, this looks like... Oh, Ballista for free? We can beat Ballista for free. It's a lot harder, though, but we can beat it. Sphere? Let me think here. I probably want Spell Pierce as backup, so... I want to use, like, the Noble Hierarch mana as much as possible, so we're going to just untap, and then we're going to claim this Ballista. Unfortunately, we don't get the Exalted, so that's really super awkward. Oh, Heath? Okay, that's really good. Okay, we're definitely going for it this turn. We have Spell Pierce, so there's no reason not to. Unfortunately, like, we have to use everything, though, so... But yeah. Yeah, I'm not going to claim it right away, but... Like, yeah. I'm definitely claiming on my turn. That's when you want it. Okay, we keep Breeding Pool for Spell Pierce. Can we do that, though? Let's see. So... If you had a land... Okay, so let's fetch first. Fetching first is free. I'm pretty sure I have, like, Lethal, Because I can like use Hierarch to Nature's Claim, and then I can use Hierarch Mana Float to animate Ingolf. And then I can at least... Yeah. I don't think I can Spell Pierce anything my opponent has. If they have Dismember, they have Dismember. Okay, this is vocal. Let's get. It's not a bad song, but yeah. Okay. So we want to get this Walking Ballista. They also might have Fatal Push. So it might have been correct for me to Spell Pierce this and like try to... I should have fought ahead. Might swell. Activate with Noble, Pendlehaven, might swell, hold Pierce. Okay, so we want to float green here. Yeah, because like... I can activate this and then Pendlehaven it, but I can't hold Pierce. So that was a mistake. I should have Spell Pierced this so my opponent can't have Fatal Push. Yeah, I made a big mistake this. I should have Spell Pierced this. I forgot about Fatal Push. Because most lists don't run Dismember, but they will run Push. To me, okay. Yeah, so I possibly just threw the game out here by not Spell Piercing the Chromatic Sphere. Well, I should have thought of that. Like, I know once my opponent plays Ballista, I probably have to top deck a land. I should have thought of like all the implications behind that. It was also possible that actually this whole line was a mistake. Because my opponent has a Ballista on free. So a much better line would have been to activate Nexus. Yeah, activate Nexus. Attack. Oh, well, actually, no, I have to use one of these, so... One... No, yeah, the problem is that doesn't work, because I have free pumps, but I have to do it. Like, it depends, like, who blinks first. But if my opponent doesn't blink, they... Like, if I attack and it becomes a free, this is 5-9, so, yeah. But they have to like, they have to respond to the Exalted, I guess. It's close. It's not, like, necessarily a better line for that reason. I am 100% convinced that they have push, but this is definitely not getting better for me. But I should have 100%, like, Spell Pierce this Chromatic Sphere. And they should have 100%, like, played Chromatic Sphere before Walking Ballista for that reason, too. Because they would have just Ballisted probably for 4 if they didn't have push this turn. Yeah. They have push. There's nothing I can do about it, sadly. Like, I guess, like... If I was, like, super convinced that they have push, my best line is to not go for lethal this turn. But that just seems super sketch. Like... How hard do I think they have push? That is, like, super awkward. Like, if I think they have push, which really makes sense with their line... I should have Spell Pierced that Chromatic Sphere. That was bad. But if I think they have push... But they could Sylvan Scrying a Ghost Quarter. I think, like, I have to just walk into it. I screwed up, and now I'm going to lose the game to that, which sucks, but... Yeah. But yeah, I screwed up here. Like, they have so many Land Search effects that I can't play around Ghost Quarter, so I have to go for it. So I 100% should have pierced this, especially when I consider, like, what the lines are. Yeah, so they're going to have push and I lose. Yeah, there we go. Oh, Nature's Claim? Oh my god. Yeah, same difference. So, okay, so I would have lost anyways. That's good to know. Yeah. Like, I needed to claim because, yeah, like, I have free pumps to respond, but yeah. So this is over. They had Nature's Claim? Okay. I can't beat Nature's Claim, I think. Because, yeah, like, the way this is set up, I can't beat Claim. Okay. Yeah, that game was really awkward. It's very hard to win against them if they get their one-off Walking Ballista twice. I was like trying to think that turn if like I could have won. Warping Well. Yeah, I know they have Warping Well. That's easy to play around. I still should have Spell Pierced the Sphere because most of them like play black. I definitely should have gone for that turn. Like, because like that last turn, if I had like double, like if I just activated and attacked, like I can respond like with pumps, but the problem is one of them is main phase, so like my opponent can respond on like beginning of combat. My opponent doesn't have to do anything. They just like let it all happen. Because then the Pendelhaven's no longer active, and like I don't have enough to kill them, right? Because like I have to Pendelhaven first before the Exalted triggers. Otherwise, I don't have lethal, or I have to Might first. But like if I Might, my opponent then pings, and then I protect, and then my opponent pings, and then I protect, and then my opponent pings the last time. So there was kind of no sequence there. It was kind of all super awkward. And we lost... Nature's Claim was, like, not a beatable card in that situation. But I still should have Spell Pierced the Chromatic Sphere, like, because Push was a beatable card. Claim wasn't, though. So yeah, we're going to concede here. Obviously, there's nothing we can do. We faced... That matchup was a good one that we lost. Like, if Tron decks are running Push, this is clearly not a deck you should run. Let me think here. This was a quick league. Trying to wonder, like, if I want to play the Jace Vryn's Prodigy list or just call it a night. Let's see. What did Jace? Let me check. Like, I will run at least one more game no matter what. I'm just trying to figure out if I'm gonna run a full Other League or if I'm just gonna like give up here. But like, I try to run the leagues until like I'm pretty certain of what's going on. And if the Tron decks are playing like pushes and stuff. Like, yeah. My opponent was... Yeah. Oh, wow. Somebody had Great Sable Stag. Like... This might be the coolest card to face Death Shadow. They can't do anything about this. So good. This is like old technology, but it's super good. Man, this is like everything I want Invisible Stalker to be. Because like I could run a version of Infect with Jace Vryn's Prodigy and Invisible Stalker. Because they're like, yeah, I could play 2 Jace Vryn's like, let me look at the list quickly. Because I could like, let's see. Because I could cut some... Jeez. I don't have a Vryn's Prodigy? I thought it did. Yeah, I did. Okay. I probably... Right, because I could cut, like, the Spellskite for Jace. Could do 1-1. So, like, Jace's and... Invisible Stalker's a good way to beat Shadow, because they have 0 answers to this card. Chameleon Colossus, it costs 4 mana. 4 is a ton of mana. This like costs 2 and like basically does everything you want it to. It doesn't block. That's like the one thing it doesn't do, but they can't like interact with this card. So you can have like 2 Stalkers and cut a Sphinx at least. It's bad against Burn, of course, but yeah. If you have Stalker, you don't need the extra Distortion Strike. We could do like something like this. Chameleon Colossus costs 4. I think like Great Sable Stag was much more where we should be. Do I actually have one on this account? Bro, it can't be true. Okay, so quantity 0. There we go. You could like run this card. But then, like, you're making your matchup against Burn worse. Like, you'd have to cut, like, another Sphinx because it's very similar. You'd have to cut a Corruptor and a Sphinx because you can't run so many free drops. And you need, like, some graveyard hate. Jace also doesn't interact with Gravdigger's Cage. But I don't think you want Jace in the matchups where you want Cage, so that's kind of okay. Like if you're like Jason grabbed the Grace Cage on interact, but you're probably not like interested in Cage and Jason the same matchups. Yeah, like if you were tired of Death Shadow, this would be a really cool package. Like Great Sable Stag is like the better effect if you can get it in play because it's basically hexproof, but like and unblockable against Death Shadow. But this can like be good against like Jeskai decks too. Like, you could do, like... something like this. But, like, this is less good against Jeskai, because, like, they can be like a fuller life tool with lightning helixes and stuff. It's a good surprise effect, but yeah. It's very hard to, like, deal the full amount with Invisible Stalker, sadly. So that's why maybe I don't like Free for that reason, is, like, they know it can come. But he can just play this. It can just be like summing in play and then like eventually gets there. I think that's fine. Great Sable. Let's just go back to Great Sable. Oh, I probably should precise. Great Sable Stag. Yeah, something like this would be okay. Okay. Anyways, let's finish the last game. I'm not gonna try it out. We'll talk a bit more about the deck, but I think like Infect is just badly positioned right now, so. Like, the Tron deck... Well, okay, the Walking Ballista was super awkward. That was just disgusting, because they only play one. So, that was just a disgusting, like, draw from our opponent in both games. Like, those two games. We have Glistener Elf and, like, a pretty quick kill, and then Mulligan we're gonna keep. Like, there's so many Thoughtseize decks running around, and Tron is playing Push and Collective. Yeah, like your good matchups are playing cards that are awful for you. Yeah, I don't think Infect is good right now. But like we'll look at it. Okay, we have Tower, which is a good matchup. We definitely have to like Glistener Elf. Like when you face like Tower and stuff, like you just go for like the fastest possible kill. I could have gone for Pendelhaven, but like in case I draw a fetch land, I want to make sure like I'm filling my graveyard as fast as possible. Elf. If they have Push, that's just disgusting, but not much I can do. Temple. Okay, they're all in Eldrazi Tron, so that is okay. This is Matter Reshaper. Yeah. This is not good for us, of course. I think we just have to like fight through their creatures if we don't have an unblockable creature. We only have one Distortion Strike, so that seems unlikely to draw. So I'm kind of happy to use... What am I happy to use here? I could use Pendelhaven plus Mutagenic, but that like uses like none of my mana. But then I can keep Blossoming Defense, but that's not very good. I could stay back. It's kind of tough, actually. Staying back is awkward, but I think it's okay. I'd rather keep these fun spells. So we'll play Pendelhaven so our opponent can't like Ballista out of existence. And we'll stay back. We'll try to draw a little better. We need like Inkmoth Nexus, Blighted Agent, or yeah, Inkmoth Nexus, Blighted Agent, or the one-off Distortion Strike. So 5 odds here is fine. Not much I can do about it. Like my hand is like, apart from Blossoming Defense, is pretty redundant. So yeah. Yeah, this matchup's much worse. So like when I played against the other deck, like the regular Tron, I felt super unlucky. But this matchup, I think, is a lot more even because they have creatures to block Glistener, so you can't just like totally murder them out of nowhere. Well, Spell Pierce is super bad against the Eldrazi variants. Like unlike Tron, this is not a good card. So they stayed back with both. We're gonna just play Heath and pass here. Yeah. I want to Finn my deck. It's worth noting I will like not play this forest because Groundswell is in my deck. So like this is my last land drop and I'm gonna accept it as last. Island. The hell is this? Why? Okay, now I'm curious. They're playing Eldrazi Tron but with blue. Not much I can do here. Yeah, Fodnots here is super good against us, sadly. They know about Spell Pierce too, but they're obviously not taking it. Metal Croza. Yeah, so they're taking like the ones that deal like the most infect, so I can't like top deck a Distortion Strike or another infect creature, which makes sense. They're not attacking, which is interesting. I'll just get a Breeding Pool out of our deck. I could like fetch a Dried Arbor here to like, I guess Dried Arbor would have been better. I should have taken Dried Arbor. Dismember's good. Let's just start like killing this rubbish and drawing cards. Like Dismember, like cantripping to like the one off Dismember is really good. Noble Hierarch is also great. I don't think Spell Pierce is really gonna do that much, especially when my opponent knows about it. But I don't think Penalhaven's gonna do much either, because now our opponent's Ballistas for 2. But at least it forces them to like use it up. Yeah. I could play Forest and like accept that Groundswell is no longer good, but like Noble Heart gives us the mana, so I don't like that. It's like I think like the Spell Pierce has very like, limited value, so I'm not gonna like run it out. They know we have it, but if they're playing like Eldrazi like with a lot of creatures, Spell Pierce is not gonna do much. So no attacks here. It's possible like I should have kept the Dismember, but like drawing like an unblockable Infect creature that turn would have been really strong. So I think it was okay to just jam it there. Yeah, they're playing creatures as well. There's not like too many big spells we're worried about, especially with 2 towers. The spell I'm just gonna assume this does nothing. I think that's close to reality. Okay, we have Vines. We're basically like waiting for, like, I mean, I could start like fighting through. I think I have to. Like, the Mana Reshaper is gonna get something, but yeah, like with the Hierarch, it becomes worth it because I can just make this into a free forest. So we're gonna pump this thing first so that the Reshaper is a like bad block. Yeah, this just seems fine. So like that's free 4, which means that like, yeah, blocking with Reshaper is like free for us, and yeah, we can. Our opponent has to block. We clearly have like lethal potential. Right, so Reshaper, they could double block, but that's super risky. Okay, well, they decided to do that. Okay. Let's put Thought-Knots first. And this is, so like if we Vines with Kicker, this should be good enough. Unless they have Condescend, which would be like super awkward for us. But then we can use Defense Grove, so it's not so bad. Right. Condescend would be sick here. Remand? That's even sheer god. Was not expecting Remand. So we should have played this Forest. I didn't expect Remand. I expected like Condescend. Remand and Eldrazi seems super weird though. I don't like it. It's good here, of course, but let me think. So I have to use Defense plus Growth. Free form. Let's do this first in case our opponent has like something. So yeah, let's. Yeah. I'll put it this way, I was definitely not expecting Remand. Like, I think like keeping the Forest or Groundswell is like, yeah. Because like Condescend we can't play even with the Forest. So like, yeah. They should stack this to get their permanent first, I think. So that like, yeah. Yep. Okay, well, you can do that if you want. Unless, okay, they got Eldrazi Trample. Sure, you can cast that. So, let's see. If I draw Groundswell, I could play like another Glistener Elf, but between the Pendelhaven and Hierarch, just keeping up the Vines is good. I'm gonna play the Forest, but just to keep Vines up. Just in case my opponent like Karns or something. Right, Reshaper's fine. I mean, yeah, it's what, like, yeah. Might have old Croza. Okay, well, we need to, like, just pump. And then attack. Yeah, the Remand was, like, pretty surprising. It's okay, though. So here our opponent blocks. This is just like getting in for some infect damage rather than lethal, right? So yeah, so maybe not as necessary here. Walking Ballista. There we go. There's the card that is horrible for us. We lost the Pendelhaven activation too, so this is just horrible. I don't want to run Glistener Elf into, let's see, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If our opponent Ballistas for 8, this is just awful. I think I have to keep the Glistener Elf. Walking Ballista is just like the nut awfulness for us. I don't know about this reman. Like, we got like really got good with it. But yeah. Wait, what is this? This isn't. Oh, all is dust. Okay, they can pay through Spell Pierce too. I'm not sure I like that. I think the Ballista there was better. Like, this was like a really good turn to have Ballista. But sure, you can run all this dust. That's okay. So now we have Glistener Elf with Pendelhaven. 1, 2, 3. Oh, our opponent only had 7, so yeah, that's maybe not as good. You're right. They're right. They're right. Okay, we can play this Glistener Elf. Map. Okay, that is going to unlock the mother load of mana, so I have to Spell Pierce this. At least it locks some of their mana. This is never getting better than on this map. Yeah, they're just gonna pay with these two, but at least they have to tap stuff, so that's okay. Like, yeah. Alright, they pay. That's fine. Like, yeah, because they have like Urza's towers, so at least it doesn't make their ballista any bigger. Like, we have to like Spell Pierce that. There's just no way it was getting better for us. Because yeah, like this is gonna resolve. They're gonna tap Island Tower. They're gonna get Power Plant. They're gonna have access to 8 mana. Or like if I don't do Spell Pierce, they would have access to 12. We're never beating 12 for sure. Well, I don't think I'm even beating this. So yeah. It's gonna be hard. Like, I might have to Pendelhaven like before the Ballista resolves. Like, we're gonna let our opponent like just play it first. Are they gonna like let us go to our turn? Like, I 100% need the 1-up Distortion Strike, right? Yeah. Okay, so they're gonna play Ballista for max this turn. No reason not to, really. Let's see here. Okay, Ballista for 4. Okay, so the problem is, like, if I Pendelhaven, my opponent like does like offload all the counters, the elf would die, but at least the Ballista's off the table, which seems totally fine by me. Am I looking forward to the end of the 30 days when you can actually play good decks again? I think like most of the decks were fine. It's more like not so much about just playing good decks. It's like, well, like the decks I want to play rather than like good decks. Is like, because like Infect is just not necessarily my style. I don't think it's well positioned. It's not like my style as much. You know, like Valakut yesterday was a good example. Like, just not a deck that like fits my playstyle. I don't think it's like a bad deck. I would totally recommend it to, like, for modern, but like it's like I can't like. The matchup lottery is like not something I like to be a part of. So, alright, so we're gonna untap, and our opponent upkeep is gonna start ballisting. We want to save the Pendelhaven for last, basically, because while it is free, let's see, how does this work out? So opponent still has free counters, and we have access to 1, 2, 3, 4 effects. And we want the Pendelhaven to be last because we need it to be the last effect. The problem is like all of these are super bad. Like, it just counters a lot of our pump spells anyways. Let's just do... We can do, like, Groundswell first. It's the most conditional one. So, yeah. Groundswell. Yeah, the reason we're doing Pendelhaven last is there's a high chance our opponent, like, lets it happen last. So, yeah. Like, if this resolves, it's gonna be big enough, so... We're gonna Might here. So this is 5. We can actually Pendelhaven before all this because we can Vines. So this is where it gets interesting, is we can, like, Pendelhaven, and that lets our opponent, like, have to make that decision. Yeah, we're gonna Pendelhaven here, since now we can't Vines with Kicker. So the Ballista's gonna be off the table, which is actually super good for us. Oh wow, okay, it's not gonna be off the table. Our opponent prefers blocking? Really? Okay, that's their call. Okay. A land? Okay, we're gonna definitely play a land and we're gonna attack. Get this Ballista out of here. Die Ballista. We had to use like 3 pump spells to get rid of a Ballista. That's just ludicrous. And we dealt no Infect. My opponent... Wow! Oh my god, my opponent got so greedy. They probably like decided like they had no action. I was... Oh my god, this is amazing for us. We got there. We needed to top deck for sure, but yeah. We gave ourselves the best chance to do this though. Yeah. Some of the decks were bad? Yeah, for sure, of course. But like some were like bad because of... Yeah. Lol. Yeah, our opponent. Okay, so they're like on blue Eldrazi Tron, which is weird, but I mean, the blue cards can't be that good against us. Corruptor is... Corruptor's weird. Like, yeah, we're gonna like board in Dissenter's Deliverance and Corruptors. They are extra like poison creatures. Dismember is obviously super good because they're all Eldrazi. And 1 access to Destruction Strike. Spell Pierce is bad. Because of Ballista, we want Corruptors. I don't think we want Nature's Claims as well. I think like Dismembers, Corruptors, and Deliverance is enough. We don't need like claims on top. Like the fact that this cycles is actually pretty important because like there are times when it's not good. I could also play Spellskite because they have 4 Ballistas. Distortion Strike's only good with Glistener Elf, so I'm gonna cut them. It's good with Corruptor too, I guess, but yeah. They can get there eventually. Dried Arbor is not something we want, it's a liability. I know it's an extra land, but it's the illusion of land. Maybe we don't need Deliverance. It does like stuff. If we're boarding in Spellskites, we don't need Deliverance. Okay, I'm good with this. Like they have sometimes like what's it called? Chalice, but I don't think like you can run blue and Chalice. I think that's too many slots. Yeah, he knew about it from Revenge. You're totally right. Like, yeah, actually no, he knew he had to block. That would have been like the argument not to Vines there. Yeah, like the argument actually because he knew about it. Wait, one second. It was but like we needed to like I think our line was correct because that was exactly 10. So I like keeping another pump spell for later wouldn't have done as much damage because it would have been like 2 different rather than 4 different. So yeah, keeping the Vines for later was definitely correct. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you should have blocked there. Like, you knew about the Vines. Like, the other line is, like, you could trade the Ballista for the Vines and hope, like... Because, like, I'm then tapped out. But, like, I think it's correct to... I think his line is correct. So, like, don't use it. You know about Vines. My opponent attack. I attack, you block. And I still have Vines, but... Like, you're playing around me, like, top decking... Like, not top decking a land or top decking a land. You have, like, the option. So, yeah. We have Noble Hire Corruptor, so this is okay. We'll keep. Map, okay. Well, triple might is not really going to help us much. Reading pool. Yeah. Okay. Man, that island. Dear God, this is horrible. Let's see. I might as well attack for one. It's free. It's not free, really, but it's fine. We know they have Olive Dust, which would have been the argument to keep Spell Pierce, but yeah. Why would my opponent not crap map there? That seemed like a good turn to crop map. I guess they could like have waited for information, but yeah. Well, this time it's definitely incorrect not to resolve this Glistener Elf. We're not attacking for one, and we might as well tap the creature in case our opponent has like Whale. So they are playing Condescend, but I'm pretty sure Condescend is super bad in this matchup. Yeah, I don't like Condescend in this matchup. I think like it's a good card. Like it's a cool like. I think their lineup playing like Eldrazi Charm with Condescend is really interesting, but I would not keep this card post board against Infect. This just seems like too likely. If they're like keeping Condescend post board, then I'm gonna keep Spell Pierce post board. Best deck I've played in the 28 days. Anything Ivor deck with Spreading Seas was great. Merfolk Blue White. Spreading Seas is just an unreal modern card at the moment. And like both of those deck strategies work well against what the format's trying to do. What the hell is this? White? What was the name? Construct? Yeah, Construct, okay. Well, we're not winning against this. Because we're lacking a land. Like... I mean, it's okay. We can save our Hierarch. What do we use? I'll use like one of these Mightable Crozes. They're clearly not going to help me here, so... use Might. If my opponent like uses a second counter, then I can... We might get, like, we might have a shot here. If I can like get a land for this Viridian Corruptor, then there's then I have a shot. So let's hope for that. Okay, so... Because then I can corrupt this. Okay, I can just pass because there's no way they can kill it with one counter. So that's fine. We can have 6. Oh my god, we got there. Got there. Ballista is like not really a beatable card. I think it's more important to kill this Ballista than it would be to kill Map. Then the question is, do I want a Mutagenic Growth to Snowball Hierarch? Which is a much harder question to answer here. We're definitely playing Corruptor. It's just like, what do I want a Mutagenic Growth? Like, do I want Mutagenic Growth the Hierarch or not? I think our opponent, like, if our opponent is like not losing those Ballista, they probably don't have another one. So I'm happy to keep the Hierarch around in exchange for a Growth. I think like trading, like making Growth a Hierarch is probably correct. So yeah, we'll just protect this. We could have also killed the map, but our opponent was like 2 lands off Tron, so like I'm okay with this map being around. And like getting this off the table is important. This card is just not fun when you're playing Infect. It's just ludicrous. It's like remove a counter, terminate target creature unless they pay green and do something. What is this? Colorless Eldrazi? So like this is like a Fotnot probably? Yeah, okay. Our hand's like super redundant, so it's not so bad. But yeah, I really don't like Condescend in this matchup. I think this is a big mistake. Like what are you supposed like I don't know. Like, what if I keep Spell Pierce? This is awful, and then yeah. Let me see what they condescended though. When they condescended, I should have checked, but they topped the card, which is probably the Ballista. Blossoming Defense? Okay. That's a bit weird. Their interaction, apart from this if they have, that means that they have this member, I guess, because the other stuff is... Blighted Agent is super interesting. Okay, so... They could have this member. I could, like, Might pre-combat. Let's see. What do I want to might pre-combat here is a big question. Because if I might pre-combat, then my opponent's forced to block. It doesn't. I know it like kind of commits me, but like if I don't might pre-combat, my opponent knows my hand. They know I don't have lethal, so I kind of have to might pre-combat. I think here. Let's do it with the Pendelhaven since we have a 6/6. And my opponent has Dismember. They can play around the Pendelhaven anyways. Like, there is a line where they Dismember, it goes to 1, and then, like, I repump it. But that seems like a very unlikely line to me. They also might Expedition map a Temple to, like, be able to cast their All Is Dust here. So I'm not sure about this Blighted Agent. Do they actually have the Dismember? Oh, so I should have... That's insane. So, yeah, I shouldn't have tapped the Pendelhaven. I was even talking about this. Maybe I should have tapped the Hierarch. Yeah, tapping the Hierarch was probably the best, because then this would, like, I would might in response. I have to might in response anyways here. And then I would be able to Pendelhaven it up, because, like, it would go to 1. So this was, like, a big mistake, actually, in my view. Like, I think this was, like, major, because now our opponent isn't forced to, like, block it, which is bad. We are drawing a card, though, so that's okay. But yeah, that was like kind of a major mistake, I think. It's one less Infect. Yeah, so they don't have to block, which is what I don't like about this. Like, I could have put them to lethal, I guess, almost. But yeah, so we're going to pass here. So yeah, that's why I didn't like it. It's because, like, I could have Pendelhaved and put it to 7, and it's very dangerous. Okay, they're cracking their map, like, now. They look like they're in a rush to do so. Temple. So they have, like, what, an Endbringer or something like that? Or a Fotnot? No, if they crack it that fast, they have, like, an Endbringer or something. This can't be really... Conduit of Ruin, what the hell is this? You may shall I refer? Okay. Do we have Distortion Strikes? No, we boarded them out. That's not good for this situation. What did they... Wait, when you cast, you may search. Did he search? Not to use, okay. That's interesting. But yeah, like... Because now, like, the Blighted Agent is 1-turn lethal with Pendelhaven. So, like, if our Hierarch dies... Defense, that's really good. So... I'm just gonna have to hope my opponent doesn't have all his dust, I think. So let's use the Hierarch here. I know it, like, tells them, like, all his dust is gonna resolve. But, like... Yeah. Like, let's just keep our options as open as they can be. I'm not attacking here. Because... I could have attacked here and, like, traded a pump spell, but I really need the extra green to protect my Blighted Agent. Tower. So they have 1 card. As long as it's not all his dust, we're probably in good shape. 6? What is 7? What is 8? Whoa. What is this? All his dust? No, Ulamog. We win anyways. Because we can Blossoming Defense the agent. And then Groundswell. Give me a second. I just want to make sure, because we're at 1 free, right? So, like... Yeah, we're at 1 free. Basically, what happens when I do, like, these leagues and, like, play in the loser's bracket beyond, like, free losses. I know I'm making no prizes, so I usually concede to my opponents if I'm winning. So I want to make sure, like, that I am going to win so that, like, I can tell my opponent in advance. 1 second. Let's see. Because I can Blossoming Defense the agent. Their line is correct, by the way. Actually, I wouldn't have, like... I don't care about this. I think they should have gotten the Noble Hierarch, for what it's worth. I think their best line there was to get the Noble Hierarch and the... Yeah, I agree. Yeah. So, like, the Noble Hierarch and the agent. Because this is, like, not doing anything, really. Let's be honest. Like, they... Like, I guess, like, if I have Distortion Strike as a top deck. But then if you remove Hierarch, like, I can't Distortion Strike you for lethal before you attack me for, like, a bunch of damage. So, I guess they know about Groundswell, so Distortion Strike would be lethal. Okay, so maybe... Okay, they're playing around Distortion Strike. That's fair. But let's check. Yeah, if I Blossoming Defense this, it survives, then I get to just pump it to 2, up to free... And Groundswell. Like, I get to, sorry, yeah, attack, pump it to 2, free, 4, 5. Okay, so yeah, that's lethal. Yeah, so that's why our opponent also got Eldrazi Trample, is if they have Ulamog, that makes total sense. Because it gives them a curve play of Conduit. And like they would have tutored Ulamog. I forgot that Ulamog costs 2 less because they have Conduit. So yeah. Yeah, so Ulamog resolves. Hopefully they got the message and they're not going to concede. That would be really brutal. Yeah, because like they can attack here, but I don't care. Yeah, they have no cards. Right, so we can play this. We can pump this. Do this. Okay, I can attack for like 6 and 7 infect, and that's lethal. Right. So now we won game 1, I believe. So yeah, we won for Ballista. Yeah, that was weird. Okay, so and now I'll concede because we're 1 free. I'll just double check. 1, 2 free. View prizes. We only get free prizes for free wins. Okay, so concede game, and then we'll concede the match. I'm not gonna play game free. We won the match, so that's it. There's no like concede match on this. I'm not interested in playing a game free that wouldn't exist, so I'll just concede the match here. Then we'll discuss like the Infect deck and like what I think. If you're interested in Infect, like what I think you should do and stuff. If I'm totally honest, I would not run the deck right now. Like you saw multiple Ballistas, Fotsies decks, so yeah. So we're gonna concede game and we're gonna give our opponent their prizes. Okay, so we went 2 free. Yeah, so I don't think I can recommend Infect. I think there's too many aggro Fotsies decks that are not good matchups, and yeah. If you are interested in Infect, though, I like this a little more, like the Jace Great Sable Stack Stalker over the Finks. The Finks was okay, I guess, but like you can play 1, but I think this gives you another like line of attack against these decks. Invisible Stalker seems super good against Shadow. This may actually be too many cards against Shadow. It's possible, like, this should be 1 card less against Shadow. Stalker's very good against Jeskai, though. Yeah. Yeah, some Shadow lists are maybe going to run Bolt, and you don't want to run this into Lightning Bolt. I think these cards, like, have different uses, but, like, yeah, like... When are you going to want Invisible Stalker where Great Sable Stag wouldn't be good? Is actually a good question. I guess Great Sable Stag is bad against the black version, the green versions of Shadow. But this is good, like, on defense. It, like, acts as a kitchen finks against some decks. Like, this is good, like, against blue-ish control decks. But, like, not the ones with bolts. So, there's not that many that fill out, like, do that criteria. Jace seems really interesting though, for what it's worth. I think this is fine. I would probably run something like this. Let me take a screenshot. I'll post both of the list I ran, like the list I ran and this list on Twitter. By the way, if you haven't given like my channel a follow, this is a really good time to do so. Since yeah, so we were on what, deck 28. So it's been a run. The last 2 decks are Tomorrow Living End and some kind of green-black mid-range deck on Friday. The Living End deck is probably going to be custom design. If I can like think of like a version of it that would be really cool. Because I really like the S4 Living End deck, to be honest. I don't know if I can make the mana burst work with the blue creatures, but the blue creatures were great. Like 5/5 hexproof and 4/4 flyer is like exactly what you would want. I think the blue version without the hexproof creature was bad because you only had 1, but with like the hexproof creature it becomes good. So I thought the As Foretold Living End deck was actually incredible. Like I thought it was great. Like honestly, like I played it and I was like pretty impressed with how good it was. So, but it was very reliant on As Foretold, which is a problem. So yeah, but yeah. So for this deck, I don't think Infect is a good position. I think there's too many like the fact that like look at this. We faced 2 Tron decks. And, like, they have the tools to fight us. Like, okay, the other Tron deck was, like, mega lucky. But, like, because they only play 1 Ballista normally. But, like, they have Ballista for Eldrazi Tron, mostly. They have access to pushes and collectives. And like, like against Tron, the reason you were so good was because they had nothing before. Like they had like Nature's Claim for Inkmoth and Spellskite, but there's nothing else. And like the Spellskites walked into your sideboard plan of Nature's Claims and anti-artifact cards, so they were like good, but like they were like not fighting against what you were doing. Plus, I think you could have Vines the Spellskite, so it couldn't be like the target or something. I can't remember if that like was 100% how it worked. Like there was an interaction between Vines and Spellskite that worked in Infect players' favor, I believe. So Vines and Spellskite. I'm gonna do some research. So like because we're still like on the Infect deck and what he could do. So yeah, sorry, that doesn't work. Okay, so ignore that. But yeah, like yeah, I don't think Spellskite is seeing like ludicrously low play now, but then you have Ballista and Push are pretty hard cards because like yeah, like this deck was good when Bolt was running around because your pump spells naturally play against Bolt. Like if you have like Might of Old Crows and Groundswell, like Bolt is not a problem unless they sorcery speed it, and sometimes that's not even like enough. But like because they're sorcery speeding it, okay, like they kill your creature, but then you have all your pump spells. While with like a Push, they kill your creature and your pump spell, unless you have literal defense right there. Defense is actually like one of the only reasons I would run this deck. Like if defense wasn't printed, this deck would be like, I don't think playable at all right now. But because defense was printed, and it's much better than Apostle's Blessing, like this deck probably is okay. I'm not sure about these Stags and Stalkers. I think there's like something you want there. It might be like free as a package. Like I could see like stack blocks. It's probably a little better. So I could see like 2 Kitchen Finks for like the other decks. You could also play Tarmogoyf, which I think is totally fine. So like you can play 2 Finks. You can also play Goyfs. So if you play Tarmogoyf, what would that replace? Tarmogoyf and Jace are like good cards. So like there's definitely matchups where Tarmogoyf would be good. So like let's see. You can just board it into this like weird deck where your Goyfs are insane. But the problem with Goyf is like fail push, so I don't think it's a good plan. While Stag does not care about push. I think this is okay. Like you need these cards against burn and aggro decks and like well we want redundant. It's actually kind of tough. Let's just put in the second Invisible Stalker for the list I recommend. Yeah, so I can't recommend Infect, sadly. I think like even your good matchups have started like adding cards that are bad for you, like Ballista and Fatal Push. So and like your bad matchups still exist. Yeah, 4 Tarmogoyf used to be really good. So like it was, I think it was correct to run 4 Tarmogoyf before the printing of Push because they were super good against like Burn was a good example, and they're like a good mid-range threat. So like I think like it was correct to play Fatal Tarmogoyfs. But now that Push exists, you can't, unfortunately, because they can just push the Goyf. I know like they could push like you could like go for like a larger amount of creatures. But yeah, I think like because Push exists, you need to go a little deeper with Stags and Stalkers. Because the one good thing is like all the kind of Fotsy stacks have kind of congregated into like Death Shadow being the best. The only exception being Abzan. And Abzan can block Stag with Souls tokens. But it's still really good, I think, otherwise. That's the problem, is like Stag is not very good against, like, say, it's okay against Abzan, but then they play a Goyf, and you're like, this is terrible. So yeah. But yeah, I kind of like this. So yeah, 2 more streams coming up the next couple of days. So tomorrow's Living End, which will be spicy. I will make it as spicy as I can. And Green Black mid range will probably be as unspicy as possible. I'm not sure if I'm running Jund or Abzan or whatnot. I think the last stream I'm gonna make like a little bit of a party stream. I don't know what that entails yet, but it's like the last of the 30 decks, so I want to be a little more festive about it and like have a really good show. So if you like Living In, tune in tomorrow, but like please do tune in on Friday. Like I want to really make Friday's stream really special. I should have like hyped this up a little more, like, but I really want like the last stream to be like big, you know, like it's the end, it's the culmination, so like it should be big. Sadly, we have Abzan as the last deck, which is like maybe a little like fine, but like it's okay. Like I could play like a really weird Abzan list. Like it's maybe not the best for video recording or like learning purposes, but I want to spice things up a lot. So yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna like think about the green black mid range deck, like see if I can spice things up. So yeah, but yeah, thanks for tuning in. So give it to the channel a follow if you haven't. I really appreciate everybody that's like stuck through the Infect deck. I think it was like an entertaining deck, to be fair. Like even though the matches were bad, like the games were super interesting. A lot of them were close. I don't think I lost a game that I should have won. There was like maybe one game depending on what my opponent had in their hand, but I believe they had the cards they needed. Like there's that game where I didn't attack with turn 2 Igmoth, which I thought was wrong. And there's also that game where I didn't like Spell Pierce or Chromatic Sphere, which was wrong, but then it wouldn't have mattered because my opponent had Nature's Claim. So yeah. So I think like mostly the result kind of speaks for itself here. But I think this version is a little cooler and can attack on a different axis to your opponents. Because like the problem is these don't have infect. I think there is like one card that like gives infect to a creature, but I think it's blue. So it doesn't work with Great Sable Stack. Let's see. There's like a really weird... What is this? Grafted Exoskeleton? Yeah, that's just way too freaking expensive. Yeah, like anything that gave infect was just not listening well. It's bad. What is... Yeah, these are... Mirror. I don't even think these are good. Yeah, none of these like are anything you would want. The mind control is kind of funny. Like, we're never getting to 5 mana, but this is like probably the funniest infect card. Tainted Strike. Oh yeah, Tainted Strike, thank you. You could also Phyrexis, which is worse, but... Yeah, I haven't looked at the black version either, but I think like because Fatal Push is the removal of choice, Phyrexian Crusader is not. Like Phyrexian Crusader is like the reason you would run the black version. And right now it's not very good in the format, so... Yeah, there's not... I think we're playing like the most efficient stuff. Like, Blight Mamba would be kind of funny, but yeah, you don't have the mana for that. Oh yeah, right, sorry. The Infect deck used to run this card against spot removal, which is also kind of a funny one. It's a little expensive though in my view. Yeah, a lot of the Infect cards that you're like maybe thinking of running all cost like 4+. Necropede is not good enough, so yeah. Yeah, like the 4 mana cards are too slow, sadly. Even Fosport games, I don't think they're good. Okay, sure. But yeah, thanks for watching. I will hopefully see you tomorrow. If not, I will see you on Friday. Take care.